Let's plug this baby in.
We're live now.
Brett, what number are you? You're number 4? All right, we got to kill you.
I'm 2.
You're 2.
What number am I? I don't hear anything in my
You're
headphones.
number 1. Nothing yet?
I mean, I do. It's just real quiet.
What number? You're number what?
Well, he said 1.
I don't know where he is.
Mic, I think, actually. Oh, maybe it doesn't. Maybe your stand, headphones? 3.
Who does number 2 work for?
Wait, what's that?
That's
I
from
hear me.
Austin
It's on
Powers.
TV now. I don't remember that.
When he's
Yeah,
beating the guy up in the toilet. He's dunking his head. And he goes, "Who does number 2 work for?" Oh,
We're better. We're
Whoa,
good.
that is
I'm
hot.
plenty now.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, yeah.
You're hot. That's definitely hot.
What number am I?
You're number 1, Corey.
You're always number 1.
You'll always be number 1 in my book. It's number 1.
my
It says
God,
right
yeah.
there.
It's on the headphones as well.
Okay, good.
All right, am I better now?
Yeah,
you're
you're good.
Excellent.
I hear everything
Sweet.
now. I hear me. I hear you.
What'd you say?
What'd you say?
I don't know.
Hopefully we know.
F it. We'll do it live.
Let's see. We'll do this. Do that. I got my backup running.
Is it recording the actual show? I know that's
Not
been
yet.
a problem
We're about
before.
to hit that in a second. I forget who we were here, and we had a power strip underneath. This is like in one of the old studios, and they kicked the power strip like an hour and change into it, and we lost all power
Oh,
to
boy.
everything.
We got a blackout on the pod.
There we go. All right, we're good there. My dad's already ready. I fixed my dad's internet today.
He's stoked.
Oh my God, he's so excited. So excited. I had him previously streaming directly from his phone to his television via like a HDMI to USB-C connector.
All the adapters.
Yeah, we made it happen though. All right.
Do I sound as loud as Corey does, Rich?
Yeah, he's a little louder than you,
Yeah.
but he
I
might
don't
have
know.
been speaking louder. I don't know.
I don't know.
I am a loud talker.
It's all right.
Let's see. I can also turn your headphones down a little bit too, if it's better.
I'm good.
You
I hear
good,
everything
Scott?
fine,
I'm
yeah.
great.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do not come.
How's that? Is that good?
That was good.
I'm
Right to
good.
jail. Right to
Yeah,
jail.
right
That's
to-
one.
Yeah. Right to jail.
Right to jail. What else we got?
Bankruptcy!
Oh, bankruptcy. And then,
I'm gonna come.
yeah.
Yes. Is that Biden?
No, it's Trump.
No, it's Trump.
You're right. Duh. Play it
I'm
again.
gonna come.
Okay.
Do not
The effect is throwing me off.
There is an echo in the
Yeah,
background.
yeah.
When you pull something off of like an Instagram video that's been copied to YouTube, that's been
Yes. 50 times over.
yeah, you lose a little bit, but we're good. We're getting going there. How did we do on time today?
We are 10 minutes late.
Oh,
Yeah, but-
10 minutes late.
But with 2 people that aren't going to be talking, or one less person, it's quick, right? It's easy.
Yeah. We're good to go. Look at this.
Let her rip.
We're
Tater
talking
chip.
about food. We got Jeff's Pizza.
Yes.
Jeff's Pizza.
Jeff's good.
Yeah. I got a
I
good.
ate almost an entire pizza and it was delicious.
How many pieces did you fall short?
Rich stole 1 piece.
Okay.
But I
okay.
left half of my pizza, so
Yeah.
I mean, you can have mine.
I'm just saying, like, you know.
You see
if you need to
You
complete a whole
demoed your
pizza.
whole pizza, Corey.
Yeah, I left a few crusts at the end. Like last 3 slices, I need the crust on them.
I was going to like ask for a piece of yours, see if you wanted to swap bacon for Roni.
You should have. Why didn't you?
But you were like a monster just going down in the Roni. I was
know?
like, oh man.
Even trains have stoplights sometimes. He's gonna put it up.
Oh my god.
I ate your
No.
bones.
You did.
So I feel good.
Good there. I think we're still recording over there.
How do we tell?
How do we sound? If I get really loud, does it get red? No. We're good.
That last no, it
Is
went red at
Brett's
the very end.
Brett's mic working?
Brett's
New
mic.
arrival.
Brett's mic. We can really max Brett's mic out.
Supple leather. Supple leather.
I think, what else I got?
What do you think?
got
When
my
I talk
water.
and I say,
Documented miles.
That's the last thing I want to get. Some water.
the document. See, you say it and I know exactly what it is, but until you said it, I was like, oh man. He doesn't say supple leather enough, and I told him to. And then I was like, how come you didn't say supple leather? He's like, oh, I don't know about the leather in this one. I go, oh, it's supple enough.
It's probably supple. It's somewhat supple.
Rich, did you know it's harder to make a bottled water than it is a bottled
water,
coffee,
yeah.
a canned coffee?
Is it canned water and canned coffee, you mean?
Yeah. canned water is much harder to make than a canned coffee.
Harder to sell, not harder to make.
I was gonna say definitely not harder to
I
make.
thought you guys got some like regulations or something.
Yeah, to sell it, not to make it. Don't make it.
Is that Jordan MX5 with a $4.99 donation already?
It is. It is. Also, we owe him a belated happy birthday.
Happy
He turned
birthday,
probably
Mr.
17.
Make them fat.
The man who brought the radio to all of us. The $140 Walmart single DIN Apple CarPlay radio.
He
I heard a
really
lot
is the
about it.
innovator.
There's I can name a dozen people who have bought it now because it all started here.
Yeah, he was quite chuffed about the radio. I looked into it for the Civic, but because I don't know if you remember, but the radio is like recessed
Yep.
a bit inside of like a panel.
Yep.
Won't fit.
Because Japanese cars are mostly all ISO mount.
Yes.
And
Civic recesses back into the
other one is a DIN.
dash.
DIN.
DIN with the trim ring.
Why is it the entire world knows what DIN is, but no one knows what ISO is?
I have no idea.
DIN took over as a
Yeah.
marketing term, but it worked. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody knows single DIN, double DIN.
I never heard of ISO until I think
I think it used to be called
some nerd said something about it.
It was called ISO mount,
ISO mount.
which basically means you're mounting it from the side. I don't know. I have no idea. Isolation mount, maybe.
Oh,
IS.
isolation mount.
I stands for something. S stands for something. O stands
I don't
for
know
something.
if it's an acronym.
It'd be let's see, ISO mount radio meaning. Let's see. AI overview. Here we go. In the context of car radios, mount refers to using the ISO 10487 standard connector for connecting.
The 10487. Yeah.
What?
I was just like, wow.
Whoa,
That's crazy.
Richard.
For connecting aftermarket heading units to a vehicle's wiring harness, ensuring a simple, more standardized installation process.
That's BS. The Honda harness is different than the Toyota harness and the Nissan harness.
I don't know,
You
man.
turned down my headphones just
What number you, big guy?
I'm number 3.
I'm 3.
I'm 2 then. I'm 4. I don't
Look
know.
at your headphones.
Yeah.
It says it underneath.
I'm
it.
number 2.
There you
Two.
go. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
number 2.
I'm number 2.
Number two.
Good. You're good.
All right, here we go. Jordan, look at that. Jordan's on a date, probably with his mom.
What's his name? Oh, turn me back up just a smidge.
Better?
Okay, good. Yes.
Okay. We good?
Yep.
All right, let me just write this down, and then we'll be good. My failed attempt at looking up what an ISO mount is, or the definition of an ISO mount.
Who knows?
Definitely not important.
I don't know, and it could be in history at some point. A super relevant thing to know. You know, maybe you're on Jeopardy one day, right?
The car stereo. Early aughts car stereo for 100.
I think ISO referred more to the wiring coloring so that all the colors were the same.
The ones who have the closest on that one is the Germans again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mercedes,
Gray, purple, yellow, green.
Mercedes, Volkswagen, Audi, Porsche, BMW. The plugs on the back of the radio is there's a power plug and then there's the speaker plug, and they're all the same.
Yeah.
But Toyotas and Hondas are all different.
Standard. Yeah.
Does any of this apply to radios, though? I don't think so. International standard.
Delete it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Who cares?
I'm always looking to kind of dive down a rabbit hole of useless knowledge.
Nick
think
says DIN is German origin. In
yeah,
origin.
Gavin's up in there.
Baltimore. Is that the dude
hell yeah.
with the
Yeah,
sign?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Gavin.
Great.
Keep
Gavin and his
Pennsylvania.
girl came to Rad's, gave him the sign out of the office, and they were hyped.
Keep Pennsylvania beautiful. Litter in New Jersey.
I like
Love
that.
it.
Get that here. Nick, we'll talk about him in a little bit.
The Pawsar.
Yeah. Well, he had to change his name. It was
I know. He doesn't know.
it was hard it was hard to speak.
His name is Nick R. Don't say it fast though.
Yeah, the problem is
Light up that sign, Guile.
we always had to
Gavin, so they can see it.
so we had to start to say Nick, pause.
R.
Yeah. And then here we are, Nick Pazar. So he's good there. He set a goal that Jordan's actually already contributed to, which I don't think it'll count. But I always like setting these up. Do 10 super chats. We'll do $2
Teal.
and higher. Set a timer. Let's be reasonable. Set an hour.
Oh, Brett Sloan.
What's that?
Brett's the king of the super chat donations.
Yeah, it'll never get
Brett
better than
is-
that.
Was Kyle's? I thought Kyle's was the 42069.
Kyle's was
Okay. Yeah.
Sloan as far as like donating into like the chat.
Yeah.
No one's gonna get. Listen, maybe I hope one day that'd be fantastic if someone could get higher than that.
I know how big Brett's front pockets are.
Oh.
It's marketing.
Yeah. I know it did. It popped up. Sloan Motors.
Marketing.
Sloan Motors. So, all right. I
He
think
joins us today.
he does. Brett, how are you?
Supple leather.
Talking about his like videos he makes.
Documented miles.
Yeah. New arrival.
New arrival.
I
New
always get
arrival.
whenever a new arrival at Sloan pops up, I get excited because
I'm going to use it. I'm going to say new arrival, Rich Pugh joining us on the pod tonight.
That's good.
Woo!
All right, Scott, you ready for your big job?
Yep.
All right, you're going to walk over to that computer.
Yes, sir.
Don't get tangled. All right, see the bottom left box. It says pre-party. The bottom left box, you see it says pre-party. You see below that, there's one that says intro. All right, you're gonna count me in.
3, 2, 1. Welcome, one and all, to the Revival Motoring Podcast. I am your host, Scott Morton, joined today by the trader who came to help me tonight, Mr. Corey Dadasai.
Hello.
And also joining us tonight, new arrival, Rich Pugh, all the way from Baltimore, Maryland.
From Baltimore.
Scott did half his job.
Yep.
We got to click off the intro after into the main screen.
Oh, whoops.
Now we're good.
We're
Rich,
good?
Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you
for
so much for
having
coming.
Cool spot. Thanks for showing me a special van.
A special van, a very special van.
Pew, 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 pew.
A featured van, we'll say.
Look up Rich on the interwebs, Pugazi, P-U-G-H.
G-A-Z-I.
There you go.
Dive a bunch into that later. I was already had your old Instagram preloaded there. We can
You can find me at R411YE on the Instagrams.
Look at
Hey,
you.
there's me. And
You've done this
Rita.
before.
Yeah, that was my buddy Cabbage. James
Excuse me.
Cabbage.
His name's Cabbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that for him.
Big skateboarder.
Yeah.
Good
Big
for him.
East Coast skateboarder. Pretty nationally known skateboarder. He's an awesome dude. He does a podcast that's about Maryland local skateboarding stuff, and he had me on because I've been in this skateboarding
That's awesome.
industry.
He's got good taste in equipment, I see.
I have no idea.
He's
Are
using
you
the
referring
exact
to
same
his
board.
wife? In that?
Oh, yeah.
sorry.
It looks
No.
just like
equipment.
here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, he's using the same board as we are. Same mics.
Yeah, look at that.
Actually, we did have those stands at one point.
Podcast in a box.
There we go. Actually, yeah, it really is. I think you can go like on Road's website and just like click and
Nice. Damn, that's when my shoes were clean. I still have those exact
podcast
shoes. And they're
shows up.
Wrecked. Those beautiful yellow shoes.
There you go.
You finger gunning us in that picture?
Yeah, I think so.
Pointing at somebody.
Hey, shouts to Cabbage. What's the name of the podcast?
In the patch with Cabbage.
In the Patrick Cabbage, dude.
It's awesome.
If you want to know a
It's
lot
very
about
good.
skateboarding with Rich and some car stuff, I definitely think you should go and listen, everybody.
Thanks.
And for anybody who doesn't know, we had a discussion at dinner. Everybody needs to go and listen to Topics Under the Stairs when Mr. Corey Dadasai was the guest about his honeymoon trip to Italy. It's a fantastic podcast about food. And if you don't like food, you're probably not my friend.
That's rough. You don't like your food. In the Patrick Cabbage. I mean, shouts to this. This is what an incredible name. That's awesome. Great content. Skateboard surfing. I mean, who doesn't like this stuff?
Look Back Library.
Yeah, shout
Everyone
out.
go check it out. Wow, look at that. That's some cool stuff here. All right, shouts to him. Shouts to Cabbage, all right?
Shout out to Cabbage.
I like Cabbage sometimes. Not all the times. The food, not the person.
I love cabbage all the time. The
Really?
person and the food.
I like it as like a slaw, you know?
Yeah.
Cooked cabbage I can't get down with.
I love steamed cabbage.
It's tough for me.
Yeah.
It's tough for me. This is
cabbage would be a no.
Yeah, I didn't really incorporate you on that because I didn't expect it to be a yes for you. But this podcast is as much a food podcast as it is a car podcast.
That's lovely.
Yeah. Scott, your intro, unbelievable. Thank you so much.
Banging.
Getting us started.
I love being here. I can't thank you enough for the kind of invite. I couldn't let this thing be off the air for 2 weeks straight.
It was going to be me here no matter what.
Okay. Okay.
So like whether it was
you alone in this room just rambling?
Yeah.
Sick.
Dude.
I didn't know that. When we talked at the event that we should get right into.
Yeah.
I thought you were like, come on out, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, no, I love having you, but if for some reason you couldn't come.
You're going to talk to yourself alone in this room for an hour?
Yeah, I could do an hour easy.
Sick.
I could do an hour easy. Easily.
I probably could too. That's why I'm laughing. I'm smiling so hard right now.
Yeah.
I could talk to myself like a freaking psychopath.
Listen, me
for an
doing
hour.
it is different than if it'd be good.
Oh, yeah.
But content's content, you know?
Yeah. Got to put out the content.
Josh and family, they're in Florida. They're chasing the warm summer rays. Chuck, he is actually chasing the frigid winter. So they're both not here, obviously, this week. They'll be rejoining us. We'll be full Voltron next week. So team 4 up, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Shouts to Shook. We'll see if he can make it. And so you're stuck with me, Scott, and Rich. And I'm super excited about that because it's like a full guest podcast. It'd be cool, actually, if none of us can make it 1 week. We just like send like 4 random people in. Just like, hey, you want to go do a podcast? Let it rip.
You could have young Ben.
YB, we'll get into that as well.
Update coming.
Yeah, I have here most returning guest of all time, Scott.
Holla at your
I just wanted to make
boy.
that a note. I don't know how you ended up there, but you
I don't
did.
know. I love this stuff, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If I lived closer, I'd have my own podcast on this network.
I love
but
that.
it's over 2 freaking hours.
We have discussed it.
It's a troop. It's a troop. You could.
I have many notes for my own podcast in my phone because I'm a notes guy. Someday
could get into like a remote operation.
I got plans. I'm not giving away all my secrets.
I'm not asking for anything.
But let's say I already own domains and things like of that nature.
As long as you've got the ideas, you're ready to go.
You want to talk about domains that you own?
No.
I have some stupid domains that I have
really
gone on in an odd state of mind and purchased.
You just purchase whenever you get the chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a thought and you're like, oh, I'm going to buy that domain.
Oh, 100%.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, just give us one.
Well, I have.
What's your favorite ridiculous domain that you own?
Well, I have Buy My Beats, Beets. I have Buy My Beats, Beats.
No way.
Really?
Wow.
Nobody emailed you to buy that one?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't even know if I've renewed it. I have
Type it in,
PewAnon.
Corey. You have what? PewAnon?
PewAnon.
Instead of QAnon?
Yep.
Okay.
I have Tacos, which is like tacos, but in a Baltimore accent. So it's tacos, like you're from Dundalk and you got tacos. We're going to go get some tacos. It's TAW. Yeah, there's Buy My Beats. And AI created that fucking website. Wait, like, seriously.
That's incredible. AI created this?
Yeah, AI created the whole website. And then go to Buy My Beats, Beets.
Oh, no.
All right. By BYMYBEETS.
Yeah. I think there's also one there too. That's no, I still have it. It's parked. So
all right.
I don't have any landing page there.
But Buy My Beats, pretty good.
That's what I said. I said maybe I'll get a fucking sampler and a keyboard. So my wife Risa bought a little keyboard that plays random stuff, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do that, and I just haven't. So,
but you're like 50% of the way there.
Yeah, I'm halfway there.
Yeah. Wild Steve, you send me a photo, I'll put it out on a piece of foam board, and we'll put you in here. We'll add you as a standing silent guest.
Shout out to my brother who helps me with all my IT issues, including getting domain names.
Is that what your brother does?
IT guy, yeah.
Nice. Excellent. Last thing I want to bring up before we dive into one of the most exciting events we've all been to. Well, unfortunately, Rich couldn't be there, but that we've been to. We're gonna just kind of really give you FOMO over the whole thing.
It's fine.
Most importantly, show is brought to you by listeners just like yourselves. You can help us out by sharing the show, recommending the show, reviewing the show, locking someone up, forcing them to listen to the show, throwing a few boys for the bucks, or bucks for the boys, not boys for the bucks, bucks for the boys, like Jordan just did in the chat.
Bucks for the boy.
Yeah, you can check out the website, Bucks for the Boys. It's revivalmotoring.com/Bucks for the Boys. Or you can check out some of the new merch we've got posted up. I see some new sneaky stuff that Josh has been adding and not letting anyone know about. Maybe he wants to keep it all to himself. I'm not quite sure. But you've got some old logos on some new merch. And the new merch system is quite good, if I do say so myself. I have nothing to do with it. I just know it actually works because I've ordered my own merch. So
The off-white coloring of the shirts and crew necks and stuff, that is the hip color right now.
that's typical color. It's
Cream.
That is the
comfort
hip-
colors as well.
hip
So
color.
it fits consistent. It's comfy, just like the name. What do we got here? We got a little death metal logo there.
That's right up John Stairs' alley.
I'm pretty sure John Stairs
sure he
designed
did
it.
that,
yeah.
But yeah, right up his alley. Very cool. Very John Stairs. This thing here, personal favorite. We get the little pig, kind of like the Porsche pig.
What color does it actually say it actually is? Let's see. Does it have an actual color name?
Maybe not, because it only comes in one color.
Okay.
So, but
I wanted to know the descriptive name of that.
the descriptive name of that color might be listed over here. It's listed as
color.
creme.
Cream.
So cream, orange, and pink.
Cars rule
cream.
everything around me.
There you go. So that's the donut dagger.
Yes.
Donut dagger.
Mrs. Melanakis.
Yeah. Miss Milanakis. I think she has a cream and red donut dagger, or actually her husband does. So
He loves it.
he did love the donut dagger shirt. So yes, this episode and this show, and actually all the shows on Revival Motoring Network. So Revival Motoring, Loose is Fast, and none other than Topics Under the Stairs. It's all
Brought to you by Bucks for the Boys.
and listeners just like you. So shouts to you guys. Thank you so much every single week. It's cool. We get to do this and people fork over what their hard-earned money is a little bit to us at a time and keeps us going. Lights turned on today. I
mean,
almost forgot to hit the record button, but I did not.
we did have to wait till the last minute to turn the lights on to save money, though.
We did.
for the power bill.
I did. And actually, I turned the heat down just a skosh, to really save on energy there. But
Rich, what are your impressions of the studio? You've been a fan of Revival. You helped me give me a review of my appearances, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was walking into. I came in and I saw the desk, and I didn't know if the room was going to be a tiny little box and there was going to be like a weird camera in the wall or something. But no, it's exactly what I, expected.
yeah,
Got cool stuff, and stuff that's not on camera is cool.
we got trinkets and tchotchkes everywhere that people send us. They
Yeah,
give
it's
to us. They donate to the show. We've incorporated into the show. We've got IFC suspension stuff over there from when they were on the show. We've got a drone that as soon as you power it on, it tries flying back to London. Just the only thing you can do.
Is it from Facebook Marketplace?
No, it's do you know Chris Saunders?
Nope.
Okay, so Chris Saunders, a gentleman, used to live here. He now lives in London. Excellent friend. He's been on the show once or twice. And Josh bought the drone from him.
It
And
still thinks it's Chris.
I swear to God, as soon as Josh powers that up, it just takes off and just you can't get it back.
It's hilarious.
You can't get it back. So it just stays there now. We got some other stuff. Some of the beer that Rotiform sent us. What else
I have a few of those cans in my house too.
We've got the car president himself, Chris Harris.
The memorial candle for Ken Block is one of my favorites.
I made that.
It's amazing. Like memorial candles are really big where I'm from.
Yeah.
On near telephone poles and street corners.
Yeah.
They're big. So when I first saw the Ken Block memorial candle, I was like, "Yo, want one?"
That was. I can make you one. I can make one if you want. It was an Our Lady of Guadalupe, and then I had to peel her off. Unfortunately, I said kind of quick.
Straight to hell, amigo.
And I applied Mr. Block himself. So yeah.
No bueno.
Oh, John Stairs in the chat joining us. But yeah, this is our little digs.
It's definitely cool.
We got a whole parking lot out front. That's where we host our donut meets. So first one, April 6th. Let us not forget. April 6th. First one kicking
It's
off
like
the season.
week after next.
It is the week after next. It is.
Yeah.
As far as I know, we're still doing the same giveaway. Every single donut meet, we pick our favorite car. We give you a nice, way too big poster. But it's kind of funny because people show up in like a Miata, for example, and I've got a 24 by 36 foam board printout.
Is that what those tubes are out there?
No, this is like a
It's hard
rigid,
mounted like Brett.
like quarter. Actually, yeah.
Oh,
So that foam board of like that month's donut meat that's usually themed in some colorway or something like that, and you give it to them. They're like, "This is sick," and then they're trying to get in their car with it, and it's like jamming everywhere. We've got a copy of every single one out there, so you can take a look at them. They're really cool.
I know how hard you work to make them, but I would love to be like, it doesn't fit my car, and I just smash it over my knee 3 times to make it quarter the size.
Someone we gave it to left it behind. I forget who.
That son of a bitch. At least I'd smash mine and put it in my
I don't
car.
think they left it behind out of like ill intent. I think they left it behind as like got in the car and left and was like,
Oh, that's a bummer.
yeah. So whatever. If you're that person, reach out. I'll reprint it for you. So, yeah, I think we just need to dive right into it. I did all the housekeeping. I did Bucks for the boys, support the show, where the guys are. First donor meet. My job's done. I'm ready to go.
Letter ripper.
Obviously, we get spam calls now.
Real quick, one thing we got to talk about because I don't think you've had a show since. Formula One has begun.
Formula One has kicked off. We go from what I thought was such an exciting race, season opener,
Yep.
to then China was like,
It was kind of wild. Like, it was good. But there was a lot of post-race stuff that you got to, like, go to the internet and know.
yeah.
Either you managed to stay on ESPN and watch the post-race, it still wasn't, like, announced.
I struggle with the post-race information. Pre-race, I'm great with. Richie, you a F1 guy?
I enjoy it, but I haven't watched the first race or anything else.
First race
have
is
much
crazy.
to add.
So I struggle. You know, pre-race, you get all the information's coming in. Instagram's just like funneling. Pre-race, what's going on? What's happening? All this stuff. I watched the race. Super excited. Once the race happens, it's like it never happened. I can't I don't know where I should be searching for like the post-race stuff. See, I'm a big UFC guy. So I get all the pre-stuff. I watch every single fight. And then I'm like dialed in for like the week after of everything. And I don't have
the
that
news coming out.
all the news
stuff.
coming out after. And I don't have it with F1.
I wonder. I mean, I go right to F1 website.
Right to the
check
website
stuff
there.
because that was one of my notes of my friend. So everybody who don't know, spoiler, cover your ears. Ferrari double DQ from the Chinese Formula One. Lewis Hamilton, because there is a plank on the bottom of the car that's meant to wear away, but it can only wear away so much.
Yeah.
And his wore away too much, and the amount that it wore away too much by was less than the thickness of your driver's license. You're out of here. Step in my office. You're fucking fired.
Yeah.
You're out of here.
GTFO.
And then good old Charles Leclerc, his car way too much. Like, does nobody know he's a scale?
Can we average it out? Little from this guy, little.
I mean, in Melbourne, that's another thing too. I'm a huge Ferrari fan. I love Ferrari. I'm super stoked on Lewis going to Ferrari. But the strategy all last year, and they're off to a real shitty start now. They got the strategy wrong in Melbourne, so they came in crappy results. Lewis won the sprint race, but then for the real race, they couldn't have screwed it up anymore. Freaking buffoons. Oh my God. I traveled all the way to your factory. I love Ferrari, and you idiots can't figure that out.
What do you think the big holdup is?
It's like management type people. Like, I don't know if there's some breakdown in management, but how can you let a car be underweight? How is it possible?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's crazy. Like, there was like, sometimes you worry about fuel consumption. So when they're done with the race, you have to have enough fuel to take a sample to have the fuel checked to make sure, you're not putting stuff in the fuel. But as soon as there's a safety car or any yellow flags, as soon as there is one, they know they're going to have plenty of fuel because it wasn't just all out for all, say, 57 laps, 59 laps. So they know. But I don't know how they could get it so wrong. Like, did Charles, I don't know. I have no idea. Did he hop out of the car and like go take a poop and then come back and get weighed? I don't know.
Well, he was overweight. Maybe he should have done that.
No, he's underweight. Overweight isn't a problem. They don't care about that.
Oh,
Sorry,
he was under. Okay,
underweight.
and then Lewis wore through the. Okay,
Yep.
okay.
And that's why
overweight. Yeah.
That's why if you notice when they get out of the cars on the podium, there's a dude there with the scale
Yes.
and his own little thing. And like, he's staring at him like eyes locked, like, don't you go over there. You come to the scale. Because they could like feed him like, here's a bag of lead shot to stick in your down your suit to make sure you go over, you know. And they always, again, as I've been watching forever, you know, the guys have to get their watches on before they're on camera.
Have to do it.
They have to get their $100,000+ watches on before they're on camera. So
There's so dedicated job to sprint over and like get it on their wrist.
sometimes the watches are like, you know, $250,000 watches. And I'm just like, who's holding that, waiting for them to come around? Like, you could just lose that thing, bounce off into the woods, $250,000 right there. Like, dang, man. But no, I mean, love Formula One. I have a bunch of notes here.
Well, I'm excited to hear all about it because, again, like I'm an openly admitted, like kind of like fair weather Drive to Survive fan. Like it was really it came out of like a COVID thing, just like looking for something.
Same, yeah.
Drive to Survive like hooked me immediately, and then we started watching the races, not the dramatized kind of like episodic thing of it, the races. And I'm like, oh, this is even better. And I've just kind of been hooked. And truth be told, my wife is way more into it than I am. She's like dialed in.
So is Mrs. Aldrich.
Yeah.
She loves it too. Here's the funny thing. 2 nights ago, I watched my first ever Drive to Survive.
Really?
Episode 1 of this season.
Of this season. Okay.
Yep. And then I think it was even last night. I watched.
You just
the
skipped
second
everything
episode.
else. You were like,
Well, I mean, I've been watching since 2000 or so, even probably
Yeah,
99.
but you're missing all kinds of crazy shit in the background.
I know, but well, I watched the first 2 episodes and I immediately text my brother. I go, I could see why this drew a ton of people in.
Yeah.
hell
And
yeah.
yes, it's built up a little bit, but yeah, there's still I want to see what these dudes are doing on the
Go back.
weekends or
Go back and watch it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna keep watching this season. We'll see. I really
that's fine.
but
don't
like
have that much time to watch all
the
everything.
formula of that show works so well that they've then done like tennis, golf, track,
Dude, you could-
maybe I think.
Dude,
or, like,
NASCAR had one, and they just
NASCAR.
basically straight up like, we need a Drive to Survive for NASCAR. Like now, everybody they mandated like no one is gonna say no to this.
Yeah.
You are all gonna do it because look what it did for Formula One.
Yeah.
There's 3 Formula One races in America. Back in the day, you used to have to fight to get one, and it was the worst race of the season. The dudes hated
What
it.
do they count? What do they count? Some weird races like North America or something. It's not Brazil. What are they? Mexico,
Canadian Grand Prix,
Canada, Texas,
Mexico City.
Mexico City,
Vegas is on like
Miami,
supposed to be like a West
Vegas.
Coast thing.
Yeah, it's just when they talk about how many are in there, you're like, oh, okay, that's a bit of a stretch.
Vegas is like they're heading over the Pacific towards those races at the end of the year.
How many F1 races have you been to?
0.0.
Rich, you ever been to an F1 race?
No.
I'd love to go.
I probably would go. I would go. Like if I had some other people who are really into it, because just recently, my last podcast, I went to a rally race in Italy, and it was absolutely fantastic. But like watching the cars fly by wasn't the best thing. It was everything else going on.
Yeah,
seeing
that's
the
exactly
cars.
what it is.
I don't know how close I can get up to a car or whatnot.
Yeah.
But if there was like hey, you can come and tour the garages, but then you have to leave for the race, it'd be like, sign me up.
Yeah, let me in.
I don't even care. I don't need the cars to go boom, 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 boom. I don't give it, whatever. So yeah, but I would go if everybody wants to go. Andy Dixon went to freaking Canada last year with like a bunch of people.
Looked good. I had another friend who went to Canada one day. I mean, they all had a great time.
Do you know about today's news?
No, I would love
I
to
mean,
know.
it's coming out Thursday. It came out Wednesday.
So yeah, today is Wednesday. The show will be released on tomorrow, Thursday.
Liam Lawson.
Oh, I did know
gone.
that. I woke up
Yuki,
to that.
Promoted.
I woke up to
can't
that.
wait till Yuki gets in the car and he goes, this thing drives like crap. I can't even, this thing is terrible. And Liam Lawson immediately out-qualifies him in the
AlphaTauri car.
Well,
or
yeah.
whatever they call it now.
It's not, why did it's racing
Bulls.
Racing Bulls instead of the V-carb. I loved it that I was halfway through last year and I finally figured out that it was V-carb as in V is for Visa, CA is for Cash App,
Red Bull.
Red Bull. And I was like, oh my God, I'm such a loser.
V-carb. It's a tough one to pick up on. I think they kind of highlight the name of it a bit more in the season you're going to watch.
I also enjoy that Mr. Corey and I, we share funny George Russell memes and reels all the time. And the ventriloquist doll is the craziest thing ever because it makes me belly laugh every time because it looks exactly like him. It's the put it up on the screen, Corey. Look,
That's Woody from Toy Story.
Oh, okay. No, I think there's a better one.
That's Woody from Toy Story.
Yeah, but you're right. But I don't know. But me and Corey constantly send stupid George Russell thing. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that one in the right there, you're right. George Russell Woody. I love it. I love it so much.
It's funny. It's funny. He's really coming into his own. So shout out to George Russell, I'm sure.
Shout out to Formula One. I mean, yes, Carman Cam. I just sent that to Corey today. I just sent him that ad today because I saw that sponsor in the call. It's like Einhall, EINHALL, and it's on every mechanic's helmet. You see it nonstop. I'm like, what is that? Turns out it's an electric power tool company, and George is out there in his slacks and nice form-fitting T-shirt, and he is trimming bushes and cutting the lawn and edging the sidewalks with his new power tools.
I wonder where that airs. You know, like
UK. Europe. There he is. Look at the slacks and the shirt. Who that? Wait a minute. Hold on. Is that mansion the one from freaking Godfather where they put the horse head in the bed? Sure looks like it.
I don't know. Can't answer that for you. But there he is. He's out there doing his yard work. You get your stackables.
Jorge Russell. Way to go, buddy.
So, official tool expert.
I assure you, he's not doing his yard work.
He is definitely not.
He's got like a 12th floor penthouse in Monaco. I don't know how much yard work there is to do.
He lives in Monaco to not pay taxes.
What does Tobias think about his yard equipment?
Tobias would be like, that shit is all garbage. You can't use that for real lawn care.
Tobias has
That's
steel.
for some little Sally UK lawns.
Yeah, he's got the steel equipment.
I also want to, I don't know if it's discussing here, but I mean, the picture of Lewis in front of Enzo's house with the F40.
Yeah.
In the rain. That's like the hardest hitting picture of all time, right? Like that thing took over the internet for a week, dude.
Yeah, people were recreating it.
It's the best. I mean, yeah, like I don't even think I watched the video. Did you watch the videos of like his first days at Ferrari?
Yes.
And they like go right past that like it was nothing. I think they had no idea what they were doing. Like there's video of him on that first day there at Ferrari and it was pouring rain and the video, it shows him like, yeah, quick, take a shot here. Let's go.
Yeah.
And for it to get so huge, it's best. If you go to just Ferrari on YouTube, there's a couple things of like his first days or hours at Ferrari, and they show like that little photo shoot, and it was nothing. It was nothing.
Yeah, it was just kind of a throwaway.
Yep, and it's the most gangster ass shit ever. Like, and then when you could Photoshop in everything else, oh, it's the best, dude. So good.
I see a lot of this. Like he's set to inherit a bunch of stuff from Ferrari.
He has a wild deal with them.
Good for him.
He pulled like a Shaquille O'Neal deal. Oh, you want me to come represent your company?
Yeah.
Give me a slice.
Yeah.
No, I don't need money. I want a portion of your business.
He's leaving with hard assets.
Yes. He just told him he wants a modern day Formula One.
Yeah.
I mean, a modern day F40 with manual gearbox and the turbo lag. That was what he described to them.
Hey, you know what? The man knows what he wants. You can't knock it.
That's a good ask.
Your mom's there too, Corey.
Oh, there she is. My mom and dad are here. We're here. We're ready to party. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if you'd ever get the specifics of like what is actually like owed to him in his contract, but
yeah, I don't know how it works either.
You hear a lot of the inherits the house or the cars or the collection, and like what is going on here? Just giving away like historical significance to him.
The Drive to Survive, that first episode, you see the guys like congratulating Lewis, this and that, and then they have him with like the independent interview things, and they're like, good for Lewis and his wallet. Good for like multiple people referenced how it's great for Lewis to go to Ferrari, including how much money he's making.
Including, yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
So shouts to him. Hard photo. Very cool.
You know about the flexi wings?
No, tell me about the flexi wings. Fill me in. Where
DRS, the wing can go up and down,
Yep.
They have a problem though. When the wing goes up, it can deflect. Okay. So what they're doing is you have to put like a 25 kilogram weight on it to make sure it doesn't deflect. It doesn't deflect like half a millimeter. Half a millimeter, dude.
Yeah, it's
rigid. Wild.
But half a millimeter, nearing 200 miles an hour, must.
But that's why maybe even it's 75 kilogram. I can't remember, but it's an enormous amount of weight on this little freaking thing. Sky Sports had a little thing on it that I was like, dang, that's crazy.
I wonder, what they're doing.
Because that's my reference was back in the day, Red Bull had flexible front wings, and everyone get mad, and the FAA is like, what do you want us to do? Because they figured out you could lay the carbon fiber that at a certain speed, it would go down close to the ground and provide more downforce. They got flexible wings. And then they were like, well, how do you want us, whatever? You got to stand on it or whatever. And Red Bull's like, no, you can't stand on it. It's just carbon fiber. It's going to break.
Yeah.
And it was a whole thing. And so I believe it was Red Bull, but they figured out you could lay carbon fiber certain ways and it would flex. They could literally be like, this many layers at this many miles per hour equals this much flex. Like the science of it. They work so hard over that stuff.
F1's a race of engineers.
Correct.
A 5 kilogram weight increases to compensate for the added equipment and tightened DRS rules. Does that make sense? And included a reduced slop gap, ensuring a return to the exact original wing position upon deactivation.
Correct. So in the corner of the wing that went up in the air comes back down,
it
might not be all the way down.
So 11 pounds.
Okay. Dude, when you see, it looks like a piece of paper. The wing looks like a piece of paper. And you're like, look at that paper providing downforce. It's super thin. But do you know what an F duct is, Corey?
Aft, AFT?
No, F. Just the letter F dash duct.
No.
So back in the day, I want to say it was early aughts.
Do you know what an F duct is?
I do not.
All right.
Okay. So back in the day, there's a thing called an F duct. So someone figured out that you could take air and blow it into the cockpit, okay?
Yeah.
And the drivers had a special hole. And on the straights, they would put their hand over the hole, which would then in turn blow the air over the rear spoilers and create more downforce. And it was called the F duct for a forward duct or front duct because it would take in air in the front.
Yeah.
But it was like McLaren. So Fernando was driving for McLaren in the day, and the duct's on the left side, and he was going down. He would just put his hand over this hole.
Yeah.
And it would create more downforce. Like, dude, how crazy is that? A little hole that you put the back of your hand over to cover the hole for the freaking downforce?
Yeah, that's
crazy.
Pretty good
that was pre-DRS. And after that argument is when they said, like, oh, all right, we'll give DRS because, like,
clever.
They will figure out anything. And the hole in the front of the nose was the smallest little thing. You're like, that makes a difference. And apparently made it like the hugest
Who
difference.
thought of that?
I can't remember who, but I definitely remember it probably was McLaren, maybe. I don't know, but it was
Or someone,
wild.
yeah. I mean,
it was wild. It's called an F duct.
It's people's just entire job is committed to.
Well, it was funny because the first time they used it, you heard the announcer go, "What is he doing with his hand?" And then the
well, it's a wild thing to see someone take their hand.
Well, they wouldn't like flip their hand over. They just put the back of their hand over. I mean, it's not far off the steering wheel. They would place the hole in the right area, and they would put their hand over it. But the announcer guys, so the announcers aren't controlling the directors of it. And I think it was Martin Brundle, and it was when it was on BBC, not because I used to steal it from the internet because I needed every minute of Formula One. And he was literally like, show it again, director, I've never asked, you need to show it again. What is he doing with his hand? And by the end of the race, everybody's like, what the hell is going on?
Wow.
And it was because you couldn't have active aero. You couldn't have anything that moved or electronically, but you just want to move your hand.
Rules. Yeah.
Yeah. The driver can activate the arrow, but he's too busy driving. No, he's not.
No.
When you need when you want to let up on the downforce, on the straight, you can take your hand off. Vroom, 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 vroom. So crazy.
I mean, just a few
that was
miles
one of the
an
things
hour.
I didn't know if you knew about.
No,
diffuser.
I certainly did not.
All right, double diffuser is in the back. A diffuser is basically it sucks out the air from underneath the car, accelerates the air out the back, which pulls down the back. Mm-hmm. But a double diffuser or a blown diffuser was the same thing for the ground underneath, but they were using the exhaust gases to blow over another diffuser to suck the back end of the car down even more. And that's what Braun came up with and how Braun won the title for the year. And everybody needs to go to Hulu or Disney Plus. It's the Braun, BRAWN documentary on Disney Plus or Hulu. It's a fascinating little multi-piece documentary hosted and everything by Keanu Reeves because it's serious business. But yeah, hilarious. They don't mess around in Formula One. It's freaking crazy.
It's like a constant game of developing just like a slightest edge.
Dude,
right?
It's like, here's the rule books. Now we need to figure out what they forgot to be specific about
to put in here.
so we can work around.
Do you think that was what Red Bull had kind of figured something out the past few years,
Adrian Newey is the greatest aerodynamicist known to man ever.
which is what gave them the edge over.
Correct. Rest in peace, Eddie Jordan. He passed away just recently from cancer. He was a dracer, then he became a team owner. He was also a manager. He was Adrian Newey's manager and got him out of the Red Bull contract and got him into Aston Martin because the Red Bull contract basically said, like, fine, you can't work for us, but you can't work for any F1 people either.
Mm-hmm.
And Eddie Jordan, last thing he did before he died was he negotiated the deal to get Adrian Newey to Aston basically to start when the season started, like actually racing, no preseason. So look for Aston Martin to have a big uptick because he's going to walk. He's going to walk into that aerodynamicist department and go, "What are you idiots doing? You're doing it all wrong."
They're in there just like popsicle sticks.
Correct. Who knows
Or
what
like
going on?
like the soapbox, like derby cars.
Pinewood derby cars.
Pinewood.
Yes,
Pinewood.
Cub
derby,
Scouts.
derby cars. Yeah.
Yeah. And the only other note I have, I've taken a couple cars racing a few times. I've been on like parade laps where they're like, just hang back and then you can race all you want. Go nuts, this and that.
Yeah.
Like, the turn one at Shanghai, you watch the race, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's a left that's ever tightening to the point where it's just about to be a 360.
Yeah.
And then it kicks totally left. I want to race that fucking turn so bad.
You got to get out there. You want to go visit China?
No, I don't want to go to Shanghai ever.
Why?
Dude, I barely want to leave my living room. Never mind China.
That's true. You're not a big travel guy.
I'm not.
That's right.
Well, I try to be. I guess I don't like to fly that much. That's my thing.
You
It's
like
like
this-
I'll call up Rich on a Tuesday. Rich, what are you doing tomorrow? I don't know. What are we doing, Scott? I was like, I'll pick you up at 11.
I was
And
going to say,
11 a.m. I'm in Baltimore ready to go.
ready to go. So you like to drive,
Yeah, I'm not scared.
but flying's like not not
No.
your favorite.
And in the current situation of the world, I'm definitely not fucking getting on a plane. Hell no.
How do you feel about flying, Rich?
I love flying. I fly as often as I can. I have
Yeah.
no issues. Yeah, I love flying.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
I'm not that good of a flyer. My
I
wife
was
is
considering
even worse.
flying here.
I would have picked you up at the airport.
Yeah, I thought about it.
Yeah.
Then
I
he was
thought
gonna
about
take
taking the train.
It was too slow. We didn't plan it out far enough.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
it was like
that's
2
fair.
days notice, and the tickets were super expensive. And I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just drive."
Yeah, from Baltimore to Providence is
It's barely 7 hours, I think. I picked him up. It took 5 hours to get to his house with traffic in the morning,
yeah.
and I was back, and we got here in another 2. So yeah, it wasn't bad.
He got to chill at my house for a while. I had some stuff to do.
That's perfect. What were you working on? We get in the
I was
old
working. That's not fun at all.
the old
The one,
paddock talk.
one last thing, the FIA swearing ban. You know about that, right?
I do.
Did you see Lando after the Melbourne?
I did not.
They
No.
go to the cool down room. The first thing he did is they let out a huge swear. I can't remember. And he looks right at the camera. Oh, and all the other, I forgot who was up there with him in the thing. I think it was like Verstappen and George. And like, oh, you're busted, dude. You're totally busted because, most people don't know. So Formula One started before, WRC, World Rally Championship, started before Formula One. And they already got a guy, Adrian Formeau, Hyundai Motorsport Racer, 30,000 euro swearing fine. Now they put off like 20 grand of it, but they charge him 10,000 euros for swearing.
Yeah.
To the point that was in the second rally of the year in Sweden, but he got a 30,000 euro fine for swearing. They knocked it down to a 10 after like appealing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So then all the drivers got real pissy. And just this last weekend they were in Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens when they finish a stage in World Rally Championship, they open the door and a guy had a camera and a mic to stick right in the face, like, what happened in there? Or you the fastest one in there. Well, what happened to the right rear quarter of your car? It's missing.
you're
They
like,
asked
I
the
didn't even
stupidest
know.
questions.
Yeah.
Right. So they all got together and boycotted and said, like, nope, we're not talking.
Yeah.
Stick the mic in her face and we're just going to go. So then I forgot the guy's name, the guy head of the FIA. But anyways, he should have stayed with us, straight up said, like, cool, boycott all you want. This ain't changing. Look at every other major sport there is, and we literally have the same rules. So I actually did some research because I'm a freaking nerd. The FIA just copied the NFL, MLB.
Yeah. I mean, because
NBA
there's no
policy.
profanity in there.
Right. They're just crazy fine if you do it. Like, you know what I mean? And on occasion, an NFL guy or NBA guy does it, and yeah, he catches the fine. But the head of the FIA is like, nope, not backing down. Cool. I'm glad you guys aren't talking, but there's no reason why you can't talk and you can't, talk and not swear or whatever. So I just wanted to say that. But yeah, the Norris in the cool down room, the first thing he said was like, fuck. And you see, he looks at the camera and the other dudes go, oh, like they make a whole funny, it's so funny because
What is there? Is
they're
there
still
fine chart?
young kids. They're like
They're
20.
kids. Yeah, they're
Like
kids.
Lewis is so old. Alonzo, he's like a grandpa. out there.
Alonzo.
He's so old. He's still younger than us. But like, dude, they're such young kids. And like, it was just really funny. I mean, look it up.
You know, it's interesting and kind of full circle back to Drive to Survive. You get a perspective of age when you watch that show.
Oh yeah,
Big time.
yeah.
Because
They're
like
little kids.
when you just watch the race and you watch them get ready, they get in the in the cars. They're kind of just like doing their thing. But when you kind of see them behind the scenes in their weekend lives or they're hanging out with their friends, you're like, oh, these are children.
Yes.
Like these are just like little kids. Like
Yes. And then actually how small Yuki is. Dude, is he 4 feet tall?
have you seen the photo of him next to Shaq?
Yes. Yeah, I know. Well,
Have you seen this?
No.
yeah, but Shaq next to everybody.
Yeah, but
Shaq
like
is like 3 Yukis tall.
yeah, once you see this is him next to Christoph Porzingis, but let's
That
see.
one's fine.
Yeah, we'll
Everybody
see.
knows.
Uh
KP. He's half the height.
hold on, I
He's
messed
literally
up
half
bringing
the
it up
height.
here. But
Oh, I have seen that. Yeah.
Oh my god,
dude, unbelievable. But like, you know, you see Christian Horner
dude! Look
next
at
to some other-
Horner is average height, dude.
Yeah.
Horner is probably 5'10", 5'11", if not 6 feet. Dude, my god, that's
It's
hilarious.
just yeah, I don't know.
He's 5'3". Okay, so I think my wife is taller than Yuki.
It really is.
it's
It's unbelievable. Shouts to Yuki. Hopefully it works out for him.
The last thing I want to bring up, motorsport wise, that I got to bring back, WRC. Nobody talks about it enough. Again, start of the season. It's a big deal.
I don't even know how to go about.
It's not, you have to steal it from the internet. It's terrible. There isn't even like free YouTubes a week or a month later that you can watch. It's terrible. You have to steal it from the internet, or it's $120 or $120 a year. Me and Rich are having a discussion right here about subscription services, and I'm the cheapest person known to man, and I have 0 subscription services.
Really?
For the football season, I pay for ESPN Plus for a bunch of access to NFL stuff. But literally, as soon as the playoffs come, I turn it off because everything is out there
On
and whatever.
regular cable,
Right, yeah,
yeah.
regular cable. So I had a subscription to, it's called Rally TV. And I first signed up, I was like $89 for the year, promotion. I was like, all right, cool, I'll do it. Yeah, whatever, this, that, the other. And then like they changed the way it was on there. I had a promise subscription. And next thing I know, I got charged $129 for the year. And I was like, cancel, give my money back. I call my credit card company. And I just get it from the internet. Good old, let's see. I was on a secret website. I'm not giving it out.
Yeah.
I got my brother on it. And now my brother, the IT guy, just gets everything we want. And we share it all. And we can watch. But anyways, last time I was on and I went to the rally in Italy, I talked with M Sport Mechanics. M Sport is the Ford provider. WRC is basically Toyota, Hyundai, and Ford are the current race teams.
Okay.
So these are the guys who service the Ford cars. Oh my God, come on.
What are you trying to do? Your phone locked? Super
Phone-
secret
yep,
password?
super secret password. So I've been messaging, I wish them all good luck. They seem to remember me, whatever. I follow them on socials. There's 3 of the techs. Charlie, Paulrick, I'm probably messing with his name, and Chris. Shout out to those guys. But in Kenya, Africa, was the latest round of the WRC. And it was just wild. Like the whole country came to the area where the race was.
Yeah.
So they're waiting in a freaking traffic jam. That's why I want to show you. It might be on WRC IG. It's definitely on M Sports IG. But they were basically stuck over 2 hours waiting to like work on the car to get to the service park to work on the car.
Yeah.
And literally they had to send the filming helicopter to pick them up out of traffic to get them there. And they got the transmission on Gregoire Munster's Ford Puma swapped in like under a half hour, complete service of the car. The car was completely blown up and they flew in the guys. And it was really cool. It's a great reel that shows the madness. And then these guys posted some other stuff. There was a bus, okay? Like picture that bus you see in India, okay? Like that carries people. there is a gazillion people on it. There's a gazillion people on the roof, and they're swaying the bus all the way into two wheels on the left, all the way to two wheels on the right, back and forth, hooting and hollering. And the M Sport boys are like, "Oh my God!" Like that thing. Two dudes just fall off. They fall off right in the video, right in the story, and the bus ain't slowing down. Like it's gonna flip over. There's 100 people in this one bus. It's wild, dude. But yeah, Kenya's a wild place. They were stuck in traffic. They had to fly them out with the freaking filming helicopter to get them to the service park, and they ended up rebuilding the whole car in like less than a half hour. That's awesome rally.
That's cool stuff. I wish that you could like.
I should share it on my socials. That's what I should do.
You should share it. And unfortunately, we can't play any of the reels on here.
Correct.
YouTube's a bit of a.
I'm going to do it right now.
A weenie about that, but that's cool. I mean, you can just jump on M Sport Ltd's Instagram, but you should definitely share it. This way, people can take a look at it, and it'll still be posted tomorrow when this episode comes out, so people could find it there.
Well, the boys who work at M Sport are the nicest people. They wasted like an hour of their time with me at this rally. We're just chopping it up. It was great. I'm going to share it to my story right now.
Do you watch WRC, Rich?
I don't. I haven't in many years. I haven't caught up with anything like that.
My extent of WRC coverage is whatever shows up on my Instagram.
Yeah, you wait for like a crazy story and it'll be on there a bunch. Yeah, I know. But like the actual coverage and stuff, it's really good. I enjoy it. But anyways, yeah, check me out on Instagram, R411YE. I just shared it to my story. They're real. Those are the M Sport boys. Chris, Parick, Charlie Shuttlesworth. All good
Shuttlesworth.
Charlie,
what a name.
Yeah,
Shuttlesworth.
he loved when I said it in my American accent. They're like, "Oh, I love it with the accent." I go, "My accent? You got the accent. I don't have an accent."
Yeah, that's it. What else you got, Scott? Anything else you got?
I also wanted to say Seamus is my favorite guest of all time.
Seamus, yes.
Seamus,
wonderful
TCS.
guest.
The best.
He is overwhelmingly smart.
That's why I love him. Absolute nerd.
Yeah, overwhelmingly smart. Just comes on like a tidal wave of just like information.
But he's also so smart, like he could just flame people and wreck them at the same time in here, and it's the best.
Yeah, he can talk to you two different ways. Like really break it down so you'll digest and understand, and then just like so far over what you'll ever understand. But yeah, he's an excellent guest.
Did you see
crazy talented?
Did you see Chuck's video on the Taylor Chassis Solutions channel?
I did not. No, I have not.
It's titled like Chuck's Transmission Build. And this is where it's about, he's just building transmission. It's not whatever. And then he goes on like, 15-second rant about, I like to use the standard Nissan diff front covers because of the cover splash geometry is engineered by Nissan. And when you put the different one on, it's going to change the geometry of the splash. And you got to keep that differential lubricated, especially when it hits its viscosity and it's slinging oil. Like, I don't even know. It's only like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But I was freaking crying. I was
Chuck,
like,
700 horsepower R32 GTR build.
Yes,
transmission and oil pan.
All I know is Seamus references diff cover splash geometry on Chuck's transmission build, and I love it.
Well, you want to make sure it's not cavitating in there. We know that.
Correct. He didn't use the word cavitating, but he could.
Yeah. That was me trying to, be a part of it. Yeah, excellent guest. Seamus is awesome. Super busy guy, but like, just the best. Good guy.
That was my callback. Seamus was like 2 episodes ago. So that was my callback. Seamus is the GOAT for me on this podcast. I love him.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd fanboy at him when I see him at like Grid Life this year or something, but I probably would walk and be like, dude, you're the man in Revival. So
I'm sure he'd appreciate that.
You have any callbacks, Corey?
No, it's just a big event we went to that I want to chat about.
All right, we're going to get, that's a mega, it's more than a callback. That's a segment right here.
Yeah, of course.
The one thing, let's get to news real quick, okay?
What do you got for news?
Here's the news. There's no fucking good new cars out there. I don't give a shit about the news segments. Fuck all the cars. If you want to buy an enthusiast car, you have 2 choices. Some GR, Toyota version, something or other, and BMW, because they still make almost affordable manual cars.
Almost.
Whereas, yeah, like Porsche and all them, nobody's affording that shit.
Mm-hmm.
The closest one, Toyota and freaking good old BMW. Maybe a Mustang if you're going down that road, but everything else is terrible. Corvette, terrible. Camaro, gone.
I was going to say Mustang.
Every single Hemi thing, we all know it's ruined. You can't buy any of those, even though some of them seem fine. I just hate the news. I don't want to hear anything about the news.
My big gripe is it's like the path like Volkswagen is headed down? You know, like what are they bringing us anymore?
Nothing. They just got to sell some SUVs, bro.
I know.
We only got a long version of the bus.
Yeah, they've taken over the world. They almost don't even care about the American market.
Is that the case? Is that you
they
think
don't care, but like, dude, it's tough to sell a car right now.
I mean, I just don't know if their model lineup.
There's nothing sporty enthusiast about it at all.
And when you get to what is sporty or enthusiast, the price point is so far-fetched.
Yeah, but like manuals not available on a Golf R?
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm the guy who like think about trading in my 401k for a GT3 RS.
Yeah.
But the fact it only comes...
idea.
You're a Mustang guy. You got to get a GTD.
That's true.
Yeah.
Same.
It's fucking sick.
You're right. But GT3 RS, like, I want everything it has, but I want to row some freaking gears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to row some gears for that price. I'm not trying to go 10/10 at the track, bro. I want to row some freaking gears.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off.
You want to give it the old 1-2 on the side roads.
Yeah. I want to freaking nail a heel-toe downshift from third to second, which can be difficult because you got to go over in the gate. Oof. You got to give it a little extra revs compared to, say, a 4-3 rev match downshift. You know what I mean? Like,
do you know this from experience or?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we can get into that in the next segment there. But anyways, that's the news, everybody. We're done with the news. New cars suck.
New cars suck.
Go buy a freaking old car.
Well, my question to kind of piggyback off that is, like, Rich, you drive an X5, right? So
it's an old X5.
Diesel.
It's a diesel X5.
For sure. But like, what pushed you towards purchasing?
I needed
that?
a work vehicle that I could go to the restaurant store and put a bunch of boxes and stuff in. And
Yep.
I also wanted something that wasn't like a shitty vehicle. I drove a Tiguan for about 6 years before that. It was an R-Line 4-motion Tiguan. It was okay. It was a little small, a little underpowered. Didn't get good gas mileage, even for being a small engine.
Yeah.
And I wanted something that got at least as good a gas mileage, was a little bit bigger, was decently as nice. I wanted like creature comforts, like a backup camera, But I didn't really care. I bought the car with 150,000 miles on it.
Mm-hmm.
I put another 36,000 miles.
Certainly
on it.
doesn't look like it's got that many miles on it. Yeah.
It's a F15.
Rich is from the city.
Oh, I beat the shit out of it.
There's nothing better. Rich told me
I just saw it.
Rich told me happiest day was when he fully curbed each and every wheel because now he can park anywhere in the city
it's
with
the
no
most
concern.
liberal. I drive on curbs, up sidewalks, wherever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
I do not
Rich,
care.
You don't even have like big tires. It's just like
No, stock tires.
Rich just
I'm in
told me
their
about
20s.
the freedom, the mental freedom once he had curbed all the wheels that he knew he could just roll up on any fucking side curb street parking. No cares. I'm just gonna ram this bad boy in there.
that's good. Is Baltimore tight on parking?
Oh,
yeah,
my
it's
God,
horrible.
yes.
Yeah. I just make an assumption that it would be pretty rough on
And
parking.
it's old. It's got old, weird rocks and
Big
shit.
granite curb where one section is straight up down, the next section is 30 degrees hanging out
leaning into the street.
Exactly. Huge issues. Like,
Yeah, it's rough.
and then the sidewalk's so jacked up. If your vehicle's low, you open the door and it just slams into the sidewalk because one side of the curb is super high and the other side's not. Like, I did it. There was a tree stump jacking up the sidewalk and I opened the door. Oh,
And it's a good thing I'm on a work trip up here because it's a work vehicle and
Yeah.
it's owned by my
Exactly.
business. And
Yeah.
so it's a good thing I'm like researching restaurants. Up
We
here.
did. We had to go. We had
We
to make
had
sure
to
the
go.
protein was good
Exactly.
in the dough because if it wasn't, we had to have a
We
word.
had a problem.
We had-
correct.
but protein was
It's great.
bellissimo.
Good tear.
Rich, what would you give it? Which score?
On a Rich?
Dave Portnoy 1 bite
I don't-
score.
I mean, I would say a 1 bite on that. I would probably say 7-8.
7-8.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Wow, Rich. That's higher than I thought.
Jeez, what about you, Scott?
Oh, I was probably 7-7.
Wow.
Oh wow,
7-7.
we're so far apart.
7-7 because I was just thinking. I thought about it. It
was a
actually
good
is really
pizza.
good.
Yeah.
And I've had it multiple times now, and it's like
Consistent.
reliable.
Yeah, there you go.
Consistent, reliable.
Had it
Let's
for
see.
the first time. It was delicious.
Portnoy gave it an 8-1. So look at that.
Look up Johnny Rad's, little place in Baltimore
Johnny
that
Rad's.
sells pizza.
Am I?
Dave
Yeah.
Portnoy visited.
Let's see. There it is. Johnny Rad's Baltimore. There we go. 1 bite score. I gotta come down. I gotta
Didn't
come
get
down
a
real
great
hungry.
one-bite score. Not from Portnoy either.
Okay, Portnoy's. I'm going to review this because Rich.
He got a 7-1, but Community's got your back.
Yeah.
Well, here's the situation.
Community had a 7-7. I mean,
Here's the situation. Dave was a long day in Baltimore. This was his like,
Which is
fifth-
a long day.
This
in
is
Baltimore.
his 5th or 6th.
you know what's funny
spot.
is like where the video starts. He might be homeless. He looks like he's been through it.
Yeah.
He
He
was
had been a
having a rough
long day reviewing restaurants in Baltimore, and Rich's was late. And you could tell he wasn't into it.
It was the last trip. He
I'm
was
calling
supposed to
you
go
out,
to us
Dick.
on a different one. Yeah.
Correct.
I'm fine with it. Anything over
Yeah,
7,
I mean,
I'm happy.
Your
Richie-
Community's got your back. Yelp's like out of control, man.
Yeah,
And-
we're good. We're good. We're a successful restaurant. I don't need Dave Portnoy,
just
but I'm very
saying.
happy for the people that are getting amped
Yeah.
on his higher scores because like all the other people in Baltimore that got higher scores than me, they're all awesome.
Yeah.
They're all great.
That's a good
Rich is such a
food
nice
community
guy.
out there.
Absolutely.
That's good. That's
It's
awesome.
a very small pizza community, but there is some. I mean, rising tide and all. So
Yeah.
I want everybody
Lifts
to
all
succeed.
boats, right?
So, yeah. Dave gave him a 7-1. I think it's much better than that.
There you
But
go. I'm
I get
excited.
handmade by Rich
By-
pizzas. Meanwhile, Rich told all his employees to warn everyone about him, but when Dave actually did come, nobody did anything because I didn't know it was Dave.
They
So.
did what they were supposed to do. I told them don't
Oh.
sell him like the margarita, like the.
I thought you said they
Neapolitan
gave
style.
him.
No, they gave him
Oh,
the
okay.
one that's more like a regular cheese pizza, which is what he wants, and I know that's
Okay.
what he wants to eat.
Yep.
So
Yeah, that's kind of
it just sat in a pizza box for like 15, 20 minutes before he came to
Oh,
get it.
boy. Steamed pizza.
Yeah, it wasn't. It
There
wasn't.
goes
ideal.
the crunch.
Yeah, exactly.
all right.
Doesn't-
Nice little
anyways.
chew though. Nice little chew.
Yeah,
That's
good chew. He liked it. He said he liked it. He just I don't think anyone was there to like engage with him, so he didn't really have much of an interaction. Some people driving by that were yelling some stuff, but other than that, it just
hooting and
wasn't
hollering.
too crazy. So he just whatever. Hey, I'm not mad at 7-1. I'm part of the conversation, right?
Absolutely. Your
There you
name's up
go.
on the board. My name's not.
This all means nothing because we have a celebrity here in the studio today with us, Corey,
A celebrity.
who's been on the Food Network a gazillion times.
This guy.
Mr. Rich Pugh on Triple D. Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives with Mr. Guy Fieri.
That is.
And Rich wanted to hate him and then basically said, damn, what a good-ass dude.
What a great guy.
I can't hate him at all.
No, that's exactly. I thought he was totally going to be a prick, and he wasn't. He was one of the nicest dudes. He was super pleasant. All of his friends were awesome. It was a perfect interaction.
As marketing goes, the Dave review is gone already.
Yeah,
it's-
nobody remembers that.
Guess what? Food Network replays Triple D all the time.
The butcher shop I go into has like a few TVs, and one of them is always playing Diner Drives and Dives.
There you go.
It doesn't matter if I go in there at 8 in the morning or if I go in there after work at 5 p.m.
It's on a loop.
Weekend, it doesn't matter. One TV is always playing Diner Drives and Dives.
Like just
doesn't matter.
whatever's on that show, or is it their episode? Or
No. It's not,
Oh,
not
just-
like they've even been on it. It's just whatever,
all right.
whatever episode.
They love it.
Yeah.
Rich, do you play your episode in your restaurant on repeat?
No, never.
Right. Rich plays old school skate videos. It's awesome.
Yeah. The deli down the street that he also went to, like they don't play it either, but they have like a signed like photo of him there, just like up on the wall, and like underneath it has like what he ordered. And I told you like I'll be in there and be like, oh, what did Guy get? And they'll just like order that.
I
It's
put
like,
a little ring around the items that he ordered.
Yeah.
And said, featured on.
yeah,
Diners,
yeah,
Drive-Ins.
yeah, approved by Mr. Guy himself.
Fieri.
You gotta lean
himself.
into it a little bit. I mean, I try to be modest, but it's kind of cool that we're on it.
Dude, it's super
Really,
awesome.
it's really cool. That you should
It's
definitely lean
super
into it.
awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely something to lean into.
Spotting the heads in the background and the shots, all your friends place the, it was the best. I loved it.
Yeah, a lot of friends came. It's a 2-day ordeal. They basically, said, "Look, we want to stock it with people that you think would be obviously good, but we don't want you to tell them what to do. We just want you to tell your friends to come for a special event."
Yeah,
So we did, and they came, and everyone gave honest, sincere reviews, and it was awesome.
that's awesome. That's really cool.
Celebrity.
You name
in
up on the board.
house.
I love that.
You made risotto balls with him, right?
I didn't do very much. I talked to him briefly after the thing. My kitchen manager at the time, Chef Grayson Reeder, he did the majority of the stuff in the kitchen. So he did the pizza, the risotto balls. We actually did a couple more things than that. That I think they played on one episode, but they are not playing on the looped syndicated one
Because
so
I knock out a segment for
We're
more
not
commercials.
it may be yeah.
Yep, that's what they
somewhat.
do.
But it's not more than it's more than commercials were knocked out. It was like little segments were knocked out. There's something that was missing. But anyway,
Someone was there. Ate there.
John
ate good-
Hazel was there.
Oh yeah, John was there.
I saw you,
guys
John.
know John.
And I saw what's her name too?
Oh, Drina. Yep.
Drina.
John,
Yep.
Drina, Dennis Bachman, his wife
Was
Taryn.
Billy there? Billy Bishop?
I don't remember. I assume he was.
I feel like he was because he had the Orioles hat on, of course.
He had to have been there.
Right. I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah.
we got a celebrity in the house tonight, Corey. Mr. Richard
It's an honor.
Pugh.
Thanks.
Pugh Ghazi. Follow him on the Instas.
We'll dive into that later.
Yep.
Yeah,
I got a lot of questions. You know,
ask away.
I know you DM me on Instagram. We were talking about the poll, and I think I had a nice to quote unquote meet you because it's always awkward when like
Yeah, we chatted.
You
on
talk to
Instagram a little
someone
bit. We
and it's
talked
like-
about some Honda stuff.
yeah, and I was like you meet someone, right? But until you meet them in person, we actually sit down and have dinner together. You know, it's like, oh, that's this. I know this guy.
Yeah,
you know,
simple enough.
Two food guys here, everybody, that could go on for 18 hours.
oh
talking
yeah, we
about
just
food.
Scott just wants to hear about chicken
I
fingers.
know about hot dogs and hamburgers and chicken fingers. You're right. Hey, everybody, you want to know something I learned today? I was today years old when I learned there's a thing called a seafood tower, and it has seafood on it.
I can't
And it
believe
was introduced to me because there was a hot dog tower by Mrs. Brett Sloan, who sent me Instagram about a hot dog tower instead of a seafood tower. And instead of looking like a fool, even though I'm going to tell you all here, I Googled what a seafood tower was because I didn't know it was some sort of thing. Because
Hell yeah.
I
I
just
love a
didn't know.
seafood tower. My wife and I, Risa and I, had a seafood tower after our wedding. Just she and I at this restaurant. I don't even remember what it was, but we went there because they had a seafood tower. We got the seafood tower. It was way overpriced. It was fucking perfect. It was great. It might even be on my Insta. Yeah, it looks like that, but it was like way cooler. It was like extra tier than that.
it was
well, I saw one with all
extra-
hot dogs,
Oh, yeah, look at that. Holy
and it was
shit.
delicious.
with all hot dogs, seafood tower. I mean,
I grew up under a rock, people.
that's all right. It's one of these things where you get to learn in life
Yeah,
later on in life.
I was today years old and I learned it as a thing called the seafood tower, but I only learned about it because someone made a funny hot dog tower.
Search hot dog tower. I want to see the fucking
yeah,
hot
let's
dog tower.
see if we got a hot dog tower in there.
I'm
Just
worried about what's gonna come
Mrs.
up. How are you
Sloan
gonna save
sent it
search
to
on?
me.
Hot dog tower. We got there's some stuff there, but
Yeah, that was one of them right there.
I like it.
It looks delicious.
I mean,
Looks
all
like it could be
right.
$20.
I'm not mad at that. I might have to put that on the menu. We have hot dogs.
I'm
There
getting
you go.
Rich, we're not sharing. I'm getting my own tower.
That's fine.
Do a hot dog tower. I'm not a hot dog guy, but I fully support you want to get after it.
Move over seafood tower. Here comes the hot dog tower has arrived.
It's a great idea. Put fries on one, hot dogs on the other, little mustard sauce.
Snake Hill, Snake Tower.
Yeah, we could do a sausage tower.
You do sausage tower.
I love that.
Worst tower.
Told you, it's just as much food as it is cars in this podcast.
All right, final, maybe not final, but Rich is also affiliated with another bar restaurant in Baltimore called Snake Hill Grill.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a worst bar, and he made up hoodies, and it says the worst bar in Baltimore. And it's my wife-
WURST,
Correct.
It's one of my wife's favorite hoodies to rock.
the worst bar in Baltimore.
Yep.
Yeah. We opened in 2015. Yeah, we're 10 now. And like 3 or 4
Bring it up,
years
Corey,
after
yeah.
we opened, another bar called The Worst Bar opened. And everyone was like,
Were they-
you do know that there's already a worst bar in Baltimore. And you
Were they
opened-
selling Were they
Yeah.
selling sausages? and Wurst?
No, they didn't sell sausages. It was
They
a cocktail bar, which is really strange.
Did they spell it WURST?
Yeah.
A bunch of losers.
Well, I don't know them. Hey, I wish them the best. I wish they would have said something to us ahead of time. Maybe we could have done a collab, but I don't know.
Now they're just the worst bar in Baltimore. Corey, you got to come down, bro.
Some good looking food.
Food's
Hey
a-
man, I'm hearing so much about this food.
Yeah, bring
This
it.
is you,
This
right?
the
Before I
sausage
popped it
bar.
open.
Yeah, it's sausage centric. Basically, it's all we have about 20 different types of sausages. Everything from like basic, just jalapeno
Plain
cheddar,
ones,
Yeah.
Scott
Pollock
would like.
Johnny's, Polish sausages, and then we do like gourmet style. We do duck and bacon, rabbit, rattlesnake, alligator. We do lots of different sausages.
It's ducking good.
It's yeah.
What do we got here? We got a tower of some sort.
Yeah, I think that was for a holiday, like we're closed that day or something.
This is
like that.
sausage.
Did you guys make
sausage
that?
tower. No, this is definitely a nabbed photo from like the 70s.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it was what's it say? We were closed for employee outing or something like that.
Yeah, that's great. But like
Oh, it was Christmas. Yeah. Was it? Wait, is that what that is?
December 24th, 2024.
Yeah, 24th. Yeah. So we
Today
close
and
on the
tomorrow,
Christmas Eve,
close.
Christmas
Yeah.
Day. Yeah.
But hey, shouts to Snake Hill, shouts to
you
Johnny
go-
Rads.
We're about to crush 10,000 followers. So
Everybody go follow Snake Hill Grill.
and go follow Johnny Rad's Pizzeria Tavern. We're about to hit 10K. So yeah, thanks.
And if you go to Snake Hill Grill, you got to go at the bar. The bar is how many feet, Rich? 40?
Yeah, it's about 35, 40 feet. Yeah.
Okay. Corey, the entire bar is Scrabble pieces.
the whole bar.
From
Yeah.
many
There's
generations
pictures of it in there.
of used Scrabble, and you can find, everybody, we got to go. We got to get Johnny Rads and Snake Hill Grill over the 10K mark on IG. Let's go, everybody. But the bar at Snake Hill Grill is all Scrabble pieces. And
Food looks unreal.
And there's lots of hidden words at the Scrabble bar.
Yeah.
Snake Hill Grill.
Did you put it together, or was it
Yeah.
like a collab of a bunch of people?
Rich
Randy
is
and I
a
did.
do-it-yourselfer for sure.
Yeah, Randy and I figured out how many Scrabble tiles were in a square foot, which is about 250 some.
Wow.
So then I calculated the square footage of the bar, and then we had to put down a little over 17,000 Scrabble tiles on the surface, and we still have a few hundred left.
How'd you go about collecting all the Scrabble pieces?
eBay.
Yeah,
Craigslist?
well, mostly eBay. Some online, they were selling like bags of pieces, like random piles of pieces. But
Yeah.
most of the time, it wasn't like one board at a time. But there are multiple boards. Like I didn't know, like the 30th anniversary had different color tiles. Go back to Snake Hills, you'll see the bar top. And I got some random like ones from overseas, so they weren't English letters.
They weren't English. Now, were any of them a different size? Because maybe it was an off-brand.
Almost all of them were not exactly the same. Almost all of them were like a millimeter different than other styles. But
Yeah.
so I would do about 20 rows at a time.
Here we go.
Yeah, keep going. See if you find.
Here we go. We had an incredible
Yeah,
photo. Is bourbon?
Yeah,
bourbon there?
We have a big old Forester grip. That's their birthday. Is that this year's?
That was January 8th.
Yeah. That was this year's.
Wow,
Or-
look at
or
that.
We opened. Sorry, that was 2023's. We opened the last year's at the beginning of the year. So when 2024 comes out, I think we start pouring it at the end of the year. I can't remember.
That's all right. You seem to get a lot going on. But look at this. The Scrabble is super cool. I've seen the pennies 1,000,001 times.
Yeah.
But yeah, look
like the burgundy one, like the dark ones, those are from the anniversary edition, and then the lighter ones are from a newer game. The darker ones from older games, and I just put them in a huge like Tupperware Rubbermaid container, whatever, and just mixed them up. I have videos of us doing it.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's cool. And then you just pour epoxy.
Yeah, we glued them down individually with like Elmer's glue, and like I said, I would rack them. I'd rack them about 30 at a time, and then make sure we had a straight line.
Yeah.
And then so we would kind of shift them and adjust them, and then we did a seal coat with the epoxy over top, and then we did a flood pour. So
That's sick.
yeah, it's not perfect, but it's pretty fucking good.
I don't know, man. It looks pretty
When you
clever
see
to
it
me.
scroll down a little bit. I don't mean to go off on a side.
No. I mean, listen.
Forget the cars.
There
Food
might
podcast.
Go down like to the beginning. There might actually be a video of us.
Scroll to the
doing
bottom of the
it.
internet.
Yeah.
the bottom of the internet.
At
We're
the beginning, we Randy curates the snake Instagram. So
I mean,
it may
the
not
content's
be-
really good.
Yeah, and the sausages are good, and the drinks are good, and our staff is amazing, and it's great.
There you go.
There-
The worst
there it
bar
is,
in Baltimore.
The worst bar in Baltimore. In Orioles Orange, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Rich, is there a fancy name for the hook on the wall and the ring attached to the
Yeah.
string? What's it called?
It's called Bimini.
Bimini?
Yeah.
Rich is good at Bimini, Corey, of course.
I play with my nephews all the time. They're way better than me.
I'm pretty fucking good.
Rich would
Randy and I
fucking
got real
smoke him,
good at
dude.
it.
Yeah.
Dude, you're bringing a ringer sometime with those nephews.
Yeah. I got a couple during COVID. I set one up in my apartment and I was crushing it. I think I had.
You
a
were really
whole-
getting after it playing.
Pretty sure I have a whole highlight reel of it. I might have taken it down. I don't know.
Yeah.
Highlight reel of.
I mean, yeah.
I've had that
You don't
mac
have
and
to-
cheese.
You don't have to keep scrolling. But
Yeah,
that was-
the Scrabble top is super clever.
Yeah.
Are there any mistakes, like maybe a letter upside down?
Oh, I mean, so we put tons of words in the bar. We tried not to put any curse words in the bar,
Yeah,
but
of
I
course.
did sneak a couple in at the end.
Yeah.
And there's tons of people's names. There's friends. There's a couple friends that passed away. Their names are in the bar. I had some stepdaughters for a few years. Their names are in the bar. It's filled with hundreds of words. There's like Beats, Bears, Battlestar Galactica's in the bar. Beetlejuice. get off your phone.
Yep.
BGE, Baltimore Gas and Electric sucks. Go home already. All kinds of stuff like that.
I dig that. That's cool. Look at that,
good.
man.
That's
Restaurant's
only
cool
the
business.
second restaurant business he's involved in. There's a third one too.
Yeah.
You
cool.
got to come down and.
It's cool
come
business.
hang, man. Come hang out.
I'd love to. What's the car scene like in Baltimore?
It's pretty good. We have an amazing Cars and Coffee in the Baltimore area that runs out of Hunt Valley, Baltimore. It's called Hunt Valley Horsepower.
Mhm.
It happens every Saturday, rain or shine, 52 weeks a year. Obviously, there's less cars when it's cold and wet, but on a good sunny day, not even for special events, there's 600 cars.
Jeez,
and it's the gamut of stuff. That's everything from military vehicles to Ks to random like
What is that thing?
who fucking knows? It's a great
Wow, you've got everything going on here.
yeah.
It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and Rich, the guy who runs it, does an amazing job. It's a solo responsibility. He does it all himself.
Mm-hmm.
He keeps people from turning it into takeovers and burnouts, and it's impressive. So that's every Saturday at Hunt Valley.
I didn't know it was every Saturday.
Every Saturday.
I
Every
thought it was like
Saturday.
once a month.
Listen, every
No,
Saturday,
every Saturday.
6 a.m. to 10 a.m., proper.
That's it. Period.
Proper. That's it. That's like the original. I never get to attend the original Cars and Coffee at Taco Bell headquarters. But Chuck has. And like I think the first time he tried to, he showed up at like 9:30. And he was like, there was never a sign of a car ever being in the parking lot. It was just like gone. And then I think he said the second time he got there properly on time, and it was very busy.
There's another one down outside of DC called Katie's Cars and Coffee.
Mm-hmm.
That one is a bit earlier. I could almost go to Katie's, leave a bit early, and still make the tail end.
Wow,
of Hunt Valley.
that's
But
properly
it's about
early.
45 minutes away, without any traffic. So I live now very close. I'm about 15 minutes from this one. So I just go. I wake up on Saturday mornings and just try to, head up.
That's awesome.
All I can hear is the music with the flames, Rich.
Oh, my stories?
Yeah.
I got a
Rich has an obsession with flames on cars.
Flames
and
on
people.
cars, yeah.
And people.
Oh, and people
And
who wear the
people.
flames.
Yes.
tattoos, jackets,
Yes.
whatever. The Corvette guys really hold it down with flames. So.
Yeah.
Talk about big donator in the chat. Sloan Motors logging on to hear Rich sell me on crypto.
Oh yeah, I tried to orange pill him.
You a big crypto guy?
Crypto, bro.
To a
Yeah.
point. I'm a Bitcoin maxi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought a.
I wish I even could wrap my head around it.
I bought a
won't even
964
try.
with a Bitcoin.
What's that?
I bought a 964 with a Bitcoin.
Did you?
Yeah. Rich and I are tight in the crypto.
That's good for you, man. I'm happy you figured it out and
Yeah.
got in. I remember
Shout out Tom Stover,
a
who
super long
made me
time
buy
ago. Someone we knew, long convoluted story, was like mining Bitcoin. I'm like, what the hell is this person doing? And this was like 12
Wow.
and I bet you that
maybe-
person no
Holy
longer
shit.
works.
more years ago. And
Unless he
like,
sold him because he thought he was
This
in
is
and
yeah,
out.
and I was
That's
like, what is this
happened.
person doing? And at the time, I was like, this is not for me.
I
I was
didn't,
just-
I didn't get into it till around 2020. I didn't really even buy any until 2021 when the run was kind of going up the last cycle.
yeah.
And I got in. I did not invest a lot of money in it, but I started to learn a lot about it.
Yeah.
And as I bought some at the peak and then it took a huge shit, I then said, okay, now I got to learn what the hell I just bought. So then over the next 4 years, essentially, I learned a lot about it.
I
am very much a pro Bitcoin person. I'm not so much a pro crypto person.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know the, difference between the two. They're not always synonymous, but I try to say, if you're going to get into crypto, just buy Bitcoin.
Just buy Bitcoin.
That's all I have. I don't have anything else.
Yeah.
I'm all Bitcoin.
Yeah, you can gamble. Everything else is 100%. I mean, everything's a risk, but this tokenization of everything random, and it's just a slot machine. It's insane. Pump.fun is a joke. Everything that came out. I mean, the fucking president launched a fucking meme coin 3 days before the
Dude,
inauguration.
people made
That's
millions.
insane.
Yep.
And they lost millions too.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's just a joke. It's a joke.
Anyways.
Buy Bitcoin. Don't buy anything else. Thank you, Brett.
There you go. See, Brett got what he wanted.
Oh,
Brett got what he
God.
wanted.
I think I at least convinced him to like spend an extra $1,000. I know what he just fucking spent on brakes for his car. So come on, man, buy some Bitcoin.
Buy some. Yeah, don't buy the brakes. Buy the Bitcoin. Worry about it.
Buy the brakes, too.
Worry about it later. Worry about it later.
Let's get to an
What else
amazing
you got, Scott?
event.
FCP,
Let's get
talk
to
about
an
it.
amazing event.
Amazing event.
I don't know where to start. I really, except for, I get an invite. Shout out to all my boys, FCP Euro, JR, Jade Roy, my boy Nathan Brown, my guy Upstate Mike Callanan. Hit me up. Hey, we're doing a Mark II thing at a brewery with Vin Tra, ex-Hoonigan guy. He's been building a Mark II. He's kind of doing it with FCP Euro, at FCP Euro. Shout out to Zach DePiro, who helped build it. Shout out to Bootsy Gears, loaned a hand. And super special shout out to Kev McDougal, who got it running and
The McDougals.
fixed it in no time.
Fixed it with his eyeballs.
No one else could get it going, really. But shout out to everybody. So next thing you know, hey, Scott, can you bring a Mark II? Sure. What do we got going on? Oh, it's going to be this brewery thing. You can park it inside. Who knows how it's going to be? Next thing you know, I get Kevin on board.
How much of a notification was this?
Less than a week. Just
That's
under a
what I
week.
thought. It was super short notice, right?
Super short notice. Kind of a pop-up. That's what the kids call it these days.
Little blast.
Yeah.
Blast event.
I was like, what car do you want me to bring? And it sounds so douchey, but they were like, well, let me see what this guy's bringing and that guy's bringing. We'll get back to you. And I was like, okay. But then they're like, Scott, bring the rally. I was like, okay, cool. I'll bring the rally. So, weather has just cleared basically now. We just got all the salt off the roads with some rain. And next thing you know, I got my Revival Motoring boy, Corey, over here. He says he's coming.
I was committed. I got that invite from Jay. I was like, I'm going.
Right. So Corey's coming. Then I convinced Tobias to come.
Mm-hmm.
Then it turns out that Sam is here East Coasting in the Boston area with his boy Jay-Z.
Mr.
Next
Dobbins.
thing you know, Jay-Z and Tobias are meeting up for a Sam swap to swap Sam to Tobias. And you guys are on your way. Then I get a message from Chuck just out of the blue and I talked to Chuck here and there, little DMs, isn't that? Straight up text from Chuck. I need your address. I'm coming. So I was like, oh, here's my address. Everybody come to my house and hang out beforehand and we'll cruise together. And then I find out Josh is coming too. I'm like, it's a Wednesday night. Who's doing the podcast? Clearly no one, because earlier in the week, a couple days, Corey's like, hey, I'm sicking out from the podcast. I'm coming to the show. Shout out Sloan Motors with the $9.99 investment Richards.
Jesus, thank you, Sloan Motors.
Yeah, buddy. So I'm inviting a ton of people. Everybody's supposed to come to my house. Well, it turns out that the Corey Tobias Sam vehicle has not talked to the Chuck, Josh, and YBU vehicle. They don't know, and they both show up to my house literally in 2 minutes. 3 minutes.
No, in 10 seconds.
You would think they.
There's no way we
other.
didn't know. We're coming up the road that Scott's on, and it's not a heavily traveled road, and we pull into Scott's driveway, and Tobias is like, I'm gonna back into the spot, puts it in reverse as he's backing up. I'm like, whose car is that? I turn around, it was Chuck. Just seconds.
Right there. What are the chances?
We did speak, but they were supposed to be leaving an hour later.
Oh,
but fortunately
okay.
they were able to leave earlier.
Okay.
So we did speak. We knew that they were going to be bringing up the rear, but it was supposed to be much later on. So they were able to leave on time.
So I'm watching all these goons get out of my car, and here we go. YBU, Young Ben update. Young Ben just gets out of freaking Chuck's car. What is going on? I haven't heard anything about Young Ben.
He's a butcher now.
Does it even exist?
Benny the Butcher.
Next thing you know, Chuck was like, get in the car. You're coming to an event. And Young Ben is at the event at my house, hanging, chilling. It was great.
He's hanging out. He's doing him.
There was no rocks crashed into, no cakes were spilled, nothing. YBU.
No, YB. He's doing good, man. It was nice to see him. It was nice to talk to him.
He's kind of tall. I kind of was like,
He's always been that tall.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a tall dude. Yeah, it was cool to see him. He's a butcher now, so it's good. He was good. What an event to accidentally stumble your way into.
Yeah.
So
then we hung at the house for a bit, got everything going. I had just finished washing my car when they all showed up, and then We all kind of jumped in different cars. I had Sam in my car. It was great to just reminisce, chat with my boy Sam for the half-hour ride there. Corey, what did you get in somebody's car?
Oh, I did. I chose to actually hop in McDougal's car, Kev's car, and we had such a great conversation on the way over.
So it took about a half hour to get there, right?
It took about a half hour. So the great conversation lasted about 5 minutes, and then the remaining 25 minutes was spent talking about how excited Kevin is for free pizza.
That's my boy.
He was
So
ecstatic about free pizza. Free pizza.
There was open bar. Kevin doesn't care. Free pizza. Free pizza.
Yeah, I had so many Diet Cokes. I rearranged my DNA because they were all free. And
I would just like to retaliate to Mr. Brett Sloan. I don't hate Sally's. I just know that there's some pizzas better than Sally's. I've never met a pizza I didn't like, okay? It's pizza.
I did see a video of you screaming, Sally sucks.
I did, because that's just a mess with
I
Brett.
assume it was the Ryle Brett.
That's just a mess with Brett, because Brett is like, good Lord, Brett.
fucking Brett over here.
Brett wants some supple, new arrival pizzas. I'll have a supple Sally's pizza.
So anyways, we drive over from Scott's. What a little jaunt over, a bunch of cool cars. It was great.
We pull in. We pull into the courtyard where they think they're going to have a bunch of cars parked.
Rich, you familiar with Bridgeport?
No, 0.
Okay. Bridgeport, wild.
It's pretty rough, but most of the city is just like abandoned now because like it was so rough nobody could make it. So it's very open.
I'm familiar with a lot of abandoned stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you're right, 3-6 Mafia. But so we pull into the courtyard. It's this old crazy brick factory. We kind of see what's going on, getting a lay of the land. And good old JR's like, all right, we got to go around to this other address. You got to come down. You got to go so many blocks and then up and over, blah, blah, blah. I don't know where we're going. Like, we're at the event. Like, this guy's sending us on a field trip for 15 minutes. So too cool guy Brett is like, here you go, JR. You could just park my car. Brett's doing his thing. And next thing you know, we're all following JR way down around the block, down some innocuous streets of Bridgeport. We come around back. We go through some like motorized gate. We're going through a big empty parking lot. And next thing you know, there's a big garage door. And we start pulling in the garage door. And there's like a freaking, looks like a dilapidated Ferrari. There's another Ferrari that's super dusty.
Mostly taken apart.
And I'm like, holy shit, we're in the freaking Ferrari chop shop in Bridgeport.
I thought it was only in movies.
And now we're driving through the chop shop.
Like smack down. So think about if like you're a shop and you've got lift on the left and lift on the right in like a 1-lane driving space in the middle. And it's just Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 2, Mark 2. Mm-hmm. Actually, that's it. Yeah. And then just kind of lined up in the middle. And one of the kids working on the Ferrari like looks over. He's like, "Oh man, really cool cars." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?
Why are we driving in here? Where are we going?" To drive through a building, and eventually we come to what looks like a 4-post lift.
Yeah.
A big flat lift, and then we're like, "Oh, we're gonna go up a weird car elevator." That Corey had the conversation with Kevin, and Corey goes, "If you told me the story on the podcast, I wouldn't believe you."
No, I would have been like, "This is just like this is a Kev story. Like it's cool."
Yeah, he's overplaying it, whatever. But oh my god, it was funny. So then all of us got to put our cars up on the car elevator, coolest thing ever. And then they literally had like a display room with fancy diffused lighting for each car to park under. Totally awesome. Josh Laborious, Mr. Scirocco Creep himself, he was there with his Scirocco 2 16-valve Callaway Turbo special car. And he got what I thought was a sick parking spot in the main room there. But I didn't know what the night held for us. So by the end of the night, I was glad I wasn't parked there.
Yeah.
Was that building normally have like a car collection up there and they moved them for you guys?
So the room where we were was closed out with a big curtain, but behind that curtain was just 40 cars.
Yeah, just get to go like look around, walk around. I mean, one of the gentlemen, he kind of walked us through everything. He was super helpful, and he just kind of showed us around what's going on. I mean, I got a quick video. It's obviously an audio podcast, but a quick video just to kind of let Richard know what's going on. Some of the viewers there I can throw up. But I mean, it's like a video of Scott parking, and I actually posted this on Instagram as well. I got to have it, Josh, so he can share it. But I mean, it's like a beautifully refinished room, like hardwood floors, dark wood, like kind of soft light boxes above the cars. Totally unrealistic for what any of our expectation was.
Well,
going
that's the whole thing. Like the paint on my Rally Golf is not that nice, but it was the properly diffused light directly over it made my paint look so good, dude. But it was terrible, but it looked so freaking good in that light. But yeah, and then just more and more people that we know started showing up, and then the pizzas arrived, then it was open bar, and it was just a freaking night, dude. And by like 7:30, the courtyard was full of just some of the sickest cars.
It was a little confusing because like the event, like one poster said it was from 8 to 10, but then the poster I had said it was from 6 to 8.
That was the secret. That was pre-party.
The pre-party. Well, the pre-party was so busy. I said, "Oh, it's cool. I'll be hanging out with these guys for a bit, and then it'll kind of die down, and we'll take off." How much
by
busier?
7:45.
How much busier could it get?
Madhouse.
Yeah, it looked like you riled up.
Dude, you were like I was doing a shoulder-to-shoulder shuffle through, like trying to like
Excuse me.
get from one side.
Excuse me.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's so busy.
It was freaking sick. But think outside. So Vin is there. I didn't even say a single word to Vin. I don't know Vin. I like Vin's content. I mean, I'm not super fan, whatever. But I talked to Vin's brother. I can't remember his name. Phil. Paul. I talked to Paul.
Shouts to Paul.
Paul's good ass dude. We talked for a while.
Super unknown. Paul loves the show.
Oh yes.
Had
Shout
no
out
clue.
Paul's
a big fan of the show.
I
Shouts to
think
Paul.
His name was Phil. It's Paul. Sorry, I'm an idiot.
You got the
but
P right.
Some people were like, "Who's that guy who's dressed up and looks just like Vin? What's that guy's problem?" And I'm like, "That's his brother, you idiot. That's why he looks just like him." Dude, I heard it like 10 times that night. But yeah, outside, you had 2 RWB Porsches.
2, yeah.
That's pretty crazy. Larry Casillo from Ammo NYC, YouTube,
Yeah.
Stardom. He's out there with his 992 GT3. You got the FCP cars.
Mm-hmm.
Just tons of cars. Paul, Vin's brother, his E46
Mm-hmm.
M3, red with the slick top.
Yep.
Shout out Nick Farrington and his blue R32. Nick, you could have washed your car. Oh my God. Shout out another friend of the show, John Volk.
Yeah.
He was there with the i8 parked at the gate.
Yep.
I need doors that go like this, not like this. If you know what I'm talking about, from Silicon Valley.
That's another guy. We got to have him back on the show. It's been a very long time. It was great to catch up with him at that event. But like having a conversation with him when he first came on, I just felt like I was like drooling on myself the whole time because
Super nerd like Seamus.
so
Absolute.
intelligent, so
Yep.
fucking smart.
Then my best part was he was just an extremely talented fabricator, cutting, welding, slicing, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he basically said, "I'm going to learn everything there is about electricity and electric cars." And then he decided to buy a car that's half electric, half engine. And then he said, "I'm going to put a rotary in it with a giant turbo, but keep the hybrid." Jeez Louise, this guy. How do people get so smart?
I don't know, man. It just, I applaud them.
But yeah, back to the event. It was sick. I don't think anybody knew how sick it was going to be because I was talking. I couldn't even get a hold of JR. He was working the room. Also, shout out Jess from FCP and the other lady. I forgot her name with the curly hair. I don't want to say it's not Melania. It's Millenia. Anyways, shout out to the whole marketing department at FCP, putting it on. Talking to Mike at the end, he's like, "We did it. We did it. Can't believe it. We did it." And the place is just a freaking mob scene. Absolute mob scene. Rich, I told you before, said if I knew it was going to be that awesome, I'd be like, "You got to get your ass up here."
No hard feelings.
Brian Scotto showing up. Swoops from Long Island. Shout out Swoops. He listens.
I could not believe Swoops was there. It was so exciting to see.
Swoops is like a Vin Long Island, Brian Scotto whole thing. Pat Holden from Upper State New York. He came down. I mean, Targa was there. Targa the pup, the most popular person there.
Most popular dog known to man.
Yep. So many people. Nick Rice, Nick Paws R was there. Everybody was there. Apparently, 3-6 Mafia was there, even though I don't think we've ever met.
He was there. He was another gentleman in the chat, Carman Cam. Carman Cam was like, "I didn't see you guys post about going live." He's like, and then I saw your story of Scott backing into the space because I figured you were here, so I just came to hang out with you guys here instead.
Nice. Well, it's funny. So I see a guy. This is after it's public, 8 p.m. I see a guy sitting, and he has this like mauve pink hat on, VW, and it's a really old school hat. I can tell it's like a real classic hat.
Yeah.
And it has like the rope between the brim and the hat. I don't know what it's called, whatever. So like he had just eaten, he gotten up. I was like, dude, that's a sick hat, bro. I dig that hat. And he's like, oh, what's up, Scott? And I was like, hey, he's like, I listened to you on freaking Revival or whatever. I was like, he's like, I'm a big fan. I was like, oh shit. I was like, Corey, get over here. We got a fan. But it was another person who heard me on the podcast.
Your voice.
Yep. Blows my mind every time. He follows me in socials, whatever. But then Corey came over. Then Tobias came over. Then he's like, oh, hey, Tobias. You know, it was awesome. It was just a freaking super great hang. So many people. No Revival Motoring last week, but it was totally worth it for that event. I don't even know what else to say. There's so much.
Yeah, it was overwhelming, really.
Okay.
In the best way. Like, the event was overwhelming in the best way for, like, the first car thing you do of the year, for it to be so big and be so many people and so much cool shit. And, like, also the weather was incredible, but you're looking around.
Yep, weather definitely.
Even, like, it's, like,
into
mid-March right now. Like, this should not be happening. It should be gray, 35 degrees, like, still a ton of salt on the ground, no sign of cars at any point. And it was just, like, every car you can imagine, make, model, variation, jalopy, incredible car.
As they say, it was well curated.
Yes.
For cars.
It looked like it. It looked really good.
Very well. And it turned out, I guess, apparently outside the courtyard where the entrance turned into almost a takeover. But the Popos came and
it was getting loose for a little bit.
Yeah. The Popo came and parked outside, shut it down.
Yeah, it was getting loose for a bit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. It's fun to watch. But, you know, maybe on someone else's time.
Yeah, I feel, I didn't want FCP or Foolproof Brewing or Black Horse Garage, which is the garage there.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to
have to deal with that.
Yeah, I don't want to have to put up with that. I mean, Milford, where FCP is like, the city of Milford already said, like, you're never having a Cars and Coffee here again. Don't you ever have a car event here again.
Oh, it's a bummer.
My wife says I didn't invite her, but she's lying.
Oh, that's Crystal.
You didn't invite her?
What?
You didn't invite her?
You bring sand to the beach, Corey? What's wrong with you? That's a Kevin McDougalism right there. That's what Kev would come to H2O and someone would bring the girlfriend and Kev's like, what the hell's wrong with you? You bring sand to the beach? Get out of here. Let's go to Secrets.
Yeah, it really was. It was a cool event. I mean, I was like, I don't know, man. I feel like it's been a long winter. I got to get into something. This is a perfect way to kick it off.
I think a lot of people with the, winter stuck inside or whatever, the weather was perfect. We had just washed the salt off the roads. It was awesome. Totally awesome.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. If they do it again, they can't do it again.
No.
They would have to be completely private. There's no way they could do it again. And that brewery was blown out between 8 and 10. Like thousands of people in there. Like the bar is, how long was the bar? 50 feet?
Yeah, that's a big bar.
It was 5 to 8 people deep the whole time. Like I don't know. I didn't get any drinks once it went public. Not that I think the
it's
open
old
bar
Mr.
was over.
Cheapo over here.
But there's no way I could get any. You don't know who the cardboard guy is? That's Mr. Brett Sloan.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I mean overall, even the signage they got for the event, like I can kind of pop that up here. But
behind
everything,
that door is the lift. Yeah.
Yeah, everything they got was just so like well set up, laid out. The branding for everything, the way they worked with the brewery, it was just.
Oh, hold on. Go back one, Corey. Do you see everybody outside? If you saw wood piled up around some concrete and some like rope holding the wood against some weird steel beams or whatever, do you know what that is?
I do. Yeah.
Rich, it's a real Banksy. They cut the whole building.
Oh fuck!
And they cut the building wall off and moved it from when he had like a residency in New York City for the summer. Dude, it's a Banksy. They cut the building and put it in steel and made it.
Yeah, it fully encased it in these I-beams here, and then it's
and so for the winter
very well fastened to the.
Nobody's stealing it from the. Yeah, I mean it's the wall of a building, but still like they cover it so it doesn't get too wrecked over the winter. But dude, there's a Banksy at the freaking brewery. Wild. I'm a big Banksy fan too. I'm a big graffiti fan.
It's kind of hard not to be, but it's unbelievable event.
Anyways.
The photos were unbelievable. I mean, you get. Nick's car, Scott.
This is
Kev's car.
Again, this guy takes amazing pictures. I'm sorry. I think his name is Zach, not Zach DePiro. I don't even know. Click on his name. But anyways, 6 shots. I'm sorry I don't know who you are. Forever Zero. Forever
Click
Zero.
on his, yeah.
Yeah,
Zach, look at you. You nailed it.
Yeah, I don't. Anyways, Zach, I don't know if you listen, but I guarantee we know a lot of the same people. But yeah, amazing event.
I think the overall event, like you said, you couldn't do that exact event again. It would just be so. I mean, maybe they can. Who knows? What do I know? I'm not Mike. I mean,
I said the same thing about cardboard Targa, Sam. I said, is there a cardboard Targa?
Oh, it's just funny because Crystal put
listen,
Targo.
if anyone can
I
get
know
me a
what you
photo of Targa, I can have a cardboard Targa by
send
next
it
week.
to him right now.
Yeah,
Dude, you guys want to sell merch on the website? Just
I can have a cardboard
profiteer off of
Targa.
Brett's dog.
I just need a
Or
rough.
Sloan's dog.
I need a rough measurement of
it's already
Targa.
It's already here. It's in
So
your
the way
inbox,
I,
right?
the way,
Okay, the
so the way I
measure-
made
hold on,
Brett,
hold on.
the way I made Brett,
It's life size.
I used
Okay.
me
Okay.
as like a.
Yeah, but I bust on Brett all the time about this. Targa is the exact size of a cat. So I always see him and I go, who's that guy with his cat over there? So I always bust his balls. So yeah, if you just get
Yeah.
the actual size of a cat and that's the size of,
Yeah, I can
Targa.
get a Targa done pretty easily.
oh my gosh.
A little cardboard Targa we can
Revival
add.
Motoring Targa t-shirt. Hello,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah, I just you could throw up flowers at this event for a million years. It was such a good time.
Brett Sloan swooping in.
Jesus.
It's
Wow.
Bankroll this
you're-
effort.
Corey, you're going to be busy the rest of the week here.
Yeah. I make that happen pretty easily.
I need a foam court Targa.
That's it. I can make a few for friends and family.
Dude, if there's no copyright infringement, just put it on the site, bro. Brett's always
Too
down
much. He's gonna start asking for a taste.
No, Brett is always down to support. He would support if you guys sold them.
Do it first. Ask for forgiveness later.
Exactly.
But the event. I mean, just seeing people.
He's going to ask us to destroy his own cardboard cutout. Don't have me on the podcast anymore.
That's a good Brett. Don't be on the.
Oh, we made that because he couldn't come to episode
Yeah.
300.
Yeah.
I remember.
He couldn't come to episode 300, so we made.
I was here.
You were here.
He's got short hair. He's got way longer hair now. You just need to do an updated version of him.
Yeah, he has fantastic hair.
He has great hair.
Sam sent
He
me
has
this photo.
great hair. I have a skateboarder friend named Max, and his father's a salon guy, and he has amazing hair. And right up there, A1 and AB is Brett Sloan and my friend Max. I mean,
Best hair in the game.
the hair is amazing.
Best hair in the game. I mean, being able to see all these people from all over the
Tangents.
internet, and you get to hang out in person.
Okay,
It's the coolest part of everything.
I don't know if Vin's gonna hear this, and I was just joking, but I see JR talking to Larry, Ammo NYC. I'm a giant Ammo NYC fan. Like, I watch it all. I love the way, I don't even clean my cars that well, but I love the way Larry does his channel and explains things, and he just does an amazing job. And I just butted right in, and I know JR, and I said, JR, take a picture of me with a real YouTube star, quick. And I got a picture with Larry because I love Larry. Like, oh my God.
Speaking of like real YouTube stars, we can I can pop this up. We were talking about YB. I got to get this on social media somehow, but I got to get the other side of I got to get the other side of the photo.
Vin and Young Ben.
So we've got young Ben and Vin taking a photo together. I got to get the other end of the photo, stitch it all together, and put it all together for young Ben. Little care package.
Again, yeah, just shout out to everybody. What a freaking night. So good, dude.
Little known fact, Larry's been on the podcast before.
Yep.
And we got to share a crazy experience with Larry. And one that he admittedly actually, because I was like, I'm just playing cool. Like, whatever. This guy's done a lot of shit in his life. Like, we're just kind
This
of
guy's established. In what he
we're
does.
we're talking shit into a microphone, and we meet at a place that he had some work at, and we asked if they had an area that we could do a podcast in. They had recommended kind of like an open area. And we're like, hey, is there anywhere like quiet? Like, oh yeah, we have an area. We have an area. Okay, you can use this room. You just can't take any photos. And we're like, okay, that's fine. We get in this room.
We're a podcast. It'll be fine.
We get in this room, and the four of us walk in. So myself, Chuck, Josh, and Larry, and we all look at each other and we're like, what the fuck? We were in the craziest, like, think of like a boardroom from like a movie
An 80s movie?
about like
Wall
a
Street?
stockbrokers
Oh,
Wall
yeah,
Street
okay.
with
Wall
Michael
Street, there you
Douglas.
with like a solid like oak table that probably about as long as a bowling alley. With like
The
a
Hudsucker
humidor
Broxy
that
table.
I could climb inside at the other end. Like wild stuff. Wild stuff. Doesn't even matter if you talk about it now. Wild stuff. And we all just collectively were like, I have photos. This is insane. And it was cool. We had a great podcast with them. However, the room was so big, audio was
Yeah, shit.
not great, which is a bummer. So is what it is. But it was a really cool experience. He was an incredible guy.
Sidebar. You see your boy Misha, who was also on this podcast, is building an EG.
Yes. Misha, who we woke up
Misha.
at like 3:30 in the morning for. You know who Misha is?
I don't think so.
Nürburgring guy. He basically.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I do.
that guy.
Yes.
Yeah, he
Hello, comrades. Even though I looked at the flag on the BMW and it says that he's Dutch, but he's always like, hello, comrades, I'm from Russia, because the Russian flag and the Dutch flag is just upside down.
yeah.
So I was like, is it a Russian flag in distress? Like, what's going on? I don't know.
But he's he went with the coupe. He went with the coupe version.
Yeah.
Good old EX.
But it's definitely cool to see him see him building a car like this. Some of his most watched video content is when he gets into like an old like golden era Honda that's either been K-swapped or whatever.
He loves the
And
K-swap
he
cars.
is, I mean, ringing these cars out within an inch of their life around the Nürburgring. And it's 30-something years old with God knows what maintenance records.
Did you see the first lap he did with Vika?
I did
I
not.
haven't. So the first lap, he's just freaking pinning it. Ba, 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 every gear. And he's like, everybody complains that I'm always, taking other people's cars to their, to their rev limit. He goes, I'll do it to my own car. Ba, 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 shift. Ba, 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 ba. He was just holding every gear. It was so funny.
Yeah. Another great guy that we had on the show. So
Another guy who does it well. Like, it ain't easy to do it well. I'm telling you right now. It ain't easy.
I think who else was there? It was incredible to see swoops. I mean, there was just so many people. It was overwhelming. It was a really cool
And
event.
we're forgetting like so many people already. I know, but like it was totally awesome.
We had like there were so many people, and the event ran so late that we were kind of like, well, when is Scott actually going to get out of here? Because you were stuck.
Yep, trapped.
You were trapped. I mean, you were the back corner.
I was the farthest from the elevator and the Ferrari chop shop. But in the end, we kind of boss hogged our way like right at freaking 10:01.
Like fired it up.
Started ripping off stickers and getting. As soon as I saw Vin's car moving to get on the elevator, I think Josh started his car to get it out of there.
Yeah.
And I said, Kev, get to your car. I said, get ready. I said, as soon as Josh's car starts, we're pulling up to get to the
cut him off?
elevator to go back or whatever. And he's like, okay, yeah. So like as soon as Josh started his car, boom, I started mine. Funny story, okay? There's these beams in the back there, and I
Yep.
got to make like a right out of the beam, and Kevin was guiding me. They helped me get in there too, and it was weird getting in there because the beams are painted like super black, okay?
Very dark.
Extremely dark, and as soon as you came from underneath the spotlight, it was freaking like pitch dark.
Yeah.
So Kevin is guiding me, and I swear to God, like my foot slipped off the clutch. I almost smashed Kevin's leg into the freaking beam and crashed my car into the beam. And Kevin's like, oh, like, you're friends with someone forever and you don't see that face that often. I saw the Kevin true, oh shit face, because Kevin's leg almost got broken by my bumper into a beam in a brewery/repair shop in Bridgeport.
Someone was trying to help Kevin park, and like he's in the car. He's like, I know how to drive. Like,
Yeah. Kevin could back a freaking 35-foot trailer down the smallest
Yeah.
I wouldn't drive a truck down the forward. Kevin will back a trailer down there at freaking 10 miles an hour.
yeah,
But
totally
still,
fine.
I almost broke his leg into a pole because like my foot slipped and I was like, oh, and like Kevin made it was funny.
Yeah, I think overall,
Shout out Mike, Boots of Gears. I think it's his cousin. He's got Mark II VR, Arena Red, Porsche Arena Red. It's not Red Michael like most Mark IIs.
I knew it's
clean
Arena
ass
Red. I love
fucking
that
car.
color.
Clean ass fucking car.
Great car.
So yeah, what an event.
What an event. I want to talk to Rich more.
No, I was about to say we got to get to Rich.
I don't want to talk to you more. Talk about great cars.
Rich,
You've got a whole bunch of them.
Rich.
I have
This is
a
my
few.
question. Why do you like cars?
You
Actually, hold on. In my notes here, I have first car. What got you into cars? And then I also got what got you into restaurants, but we don't have to go on that food tour again.
Well,
We're going to end this podcast after like 3 hours, and then we're going to start another 3-hour one just about food.
yeah, it's like 9 o'clock right now. I was like, well, I don't know what we're going to talk about.
I could go for hours, bro.
What got me into? Why do I like cars?
Well, like for me, I got my first car as a piece of shit. I had to fix it, and I was like, I kind of like this. What about you?
I got my first car. Well, I was driving my mom's car because I had I got my driver's license as soon as I could possibly get it. It was like 15 and 8 months in the state of Virginia. I lived in Virginia and I got my license. But I think the reason I like cars is because back when I was a kid, 8, 9, 10, even like 11, almost 12 years old, I lived in Southern Maryland, and my mom had some friends, Dave and Elaine Griffin, and they had kids that were like my age. Their middle daughter, Chrissy, was the same age as me. My mom and Elaine were in the hospital at the same time, like pregnant, one obviously with me and Chrissy. And so my mom stayed friends with them, and I would always go over their house and hang out with them. And Dave, the dad, worked on cars. He was like a German car mechanic, so he was always working on VWs, Audis, Porsches. He did some BMW and some Mercedes works on the side, but it was mostly VW, Audi, and Porsche. And I also remember him having a bunch of race car posters and stuff in the garage, mostly Porsche, and a lot of them were 914s. He raced 914s. He had I can't explain how many cars were rolling out the back of the yard into the woods behind
brush.
their house, just dozens of cars. And before I could even possibly drive a car, I drove a car Dave was pretty much a,
Come on, buddy.
Figure it out. You push down on that, you shift the gears, you make it go, you hit the brake, don't run into the mailbox, and that's what he did. I learned how to drive in a 87 Golf GT.
Sick.
And that was I think where I learned how to drive stick on. And then I didn't really have a car, and I was driving my mom's car. And at the time, Scott and I have a very similar parallel universe life where we both got into car audio and we were both into skateboarding and early hip hop and stuff like that. And I was big into car audio because I had some friends who were into car audio. So I wanted to have a car to put a car stereo in, and I didn't have a car. So I put one in my mom's car.
Sick.
And
She can use it too.
Mom's got the boom, boom, boom.
she was not excited when, the power wire for the amp was run through the door jamb and shorted out with no fuse. And, basically almost burned the fucking car down. So that was when I was very young. And this is a strange story. My mom historically has bought me, since I was 14 years old, scratch-off lottery tickets on Christmas Day.
Really?
So in my stocking, I would always get scratch-off lottery tickets. And when I was 16, I hadn't turned 17 yet, I had a scratch-off lottery ticket win on Christmas morning for $10,000.
Wow.
And, when you're almost 17 years old, your fucking head just blows up. After
Dude,
tax,
that's so many bass tubes. You could buy so many bazooka
Bazookas?
tubes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
After tax, it was $6,600. I remember very clearly we had to pay $3,400 to the state of Virginia.
And you're like, Mom, what is this BS?
Well,
Probably.
I think she kept some money to pay a credit card bill or something like that, which, mom tax. I don't
Yeah, hell yeah.
And I bought a 1984 Chevy S10 Blazer,
Yeah.
a 4x4 2-door, but only with the 2.8, not with the 4.3. And I put some tires on it, and I put my stereo shit in there, and I beat the shit out of it.
Sick.
And that was I just wanted car stereo shit. And
Do you remember what the bass setup was?
on that car, it was some generic amp. It was is that right there. That is the exact truck I had. Same color,
Two-tone,
same tire, same blue, gold,
silver
blue,
That is
sides,
2-door,
blue.
and it was not a four.
Dude.
Yeah, that's it.
Dude, I
Two.
remember the Metra mounting kit for the speakers in the back. And the
That is a
recorders.
I didn't.
Badass car.
It had the stock speakers with an amp and an MTX pre-loaded kicker, you know what I mean,
Yes.
kicker box or MTX
yeah.
box.
Single 12 you was rocking?
Those 212s
212s, yes. I
with
think
the
it was
big
booming.
mesh grills and everything like that.
Hell
So
yeah.
I got that. I drove that around till I used to beat the shit out of that. We would find mud bog trails and rock through them. And I'm pretty sure I just blew out all the gaskets in the exhaust because it was just blah. So the car had all kinds of problems. We ended up selling it, And I found in the Penny Saver, I don't know if you guys had that up here. It's like the paper that you sold cars in back in the day.
In Connecticut, we had the Bargain News.
So just whatever that is.
Every place has its own.
I found a 1984 CRX. It was a 84 1.5i. It was not a SI. It was still 1.5.
Yeah.
But it was a two-tone car that had been repainted black, so I thought it was cool. And I got that car and I wrecked that car. It was like crazy. I got splashed by some crazy truck driving next to me, and the water was on the. You ever been in so much rain that the windshield wipers, no matter what, you you can't. That's
the windshield wipers are hydroplaning.
Yeah. Nothing's happening. By the time I could see the road, I was facing the guardrail and I was going backwards. So I spun around and backed into the guardrail, doing about 50 miles an hour. So that car got wrecked, and I was driving my mom's car for a minute. This was another weird story. One of my friends who was like having trouble with his parents was staying at my house for like a week, and he ended up stealing my mom's car in the middle of the night.
Whoa!
Driving it to somewhere on 95 and got wrecked. And so my mom ended up buying a 1984 Audi 4000 S Quattro. Great car.
What is it with you guys in 84?
I don't know. Just
That was the year. That was the year, Corey.
No, I'm just saying the past few cars, 84.
84 Blazer, 84 CRX, 84 Quattro. So I drove that car for a little while, and then as I told Scott the story before, I think, but like I still was skateboarding a lot at the time, and we used to go skate these stairs over by the Pizza Hut carry out, and there's a Honda dealership next door, and in the dealership, there was a 1987 CRX SI. It was black.
Sick.
It had Prelude SI wheels on it. That's essentially that car right there is what it was. Yeah, same. I mean, not those wheels on, but Oh yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, spot on. That with those wheels.
It's a pretty cool car.
Those are the Renault wheels.
Yep.
Renault.
Yep.
I wonder what geared towards an Audi 4000S.
What?
What?
It was well priced in the Penny Saver.
No. This is my mother's car, because when my mom's car got stolen, she went back to her friend Dave down in Southern Maryland and said, "I need a car." One of my kids' friends stole my car.
Oh my god!
One of my kids' shithead friends wrecked my freaking car.
That's exactly what happened. So she bought that car and drove it around for a little while.
Kind of looks like an E28 M5 there.
It's a great car. That's a small bumper car. It's the same one she had. Great car. All-wheel drive was fucking awesome in dirt and gravel. It was so fun to drive. It sounded amazing. It was like,
one friend wrecks the car and he's like, yeah, this one was really good in the dirt and gravel.
This thing could do crazy skids.
I haven't spoken to that kid that stole her car since that day either.
I'd say that's pretty fair.
I can't believe your friendship ended then.
Yeah, I'm too easy on my friends, honestly.
Tell me about it.
So the CRX. I had the CRX for a little while, and it was like the first car that I realized had some aftermarket performance parts on it. I wasn't really
had an aftermarket,
It had there was a little bit, but
it came some stuff
from the dealership that I bought. It had a muffler that said Jackson Racing on it.
Whoa!
It had cross-drilled rotors, and I didn't know anything about it. So I, as you did, and a kid,
you were like, "This
90s,
thing's fast as fuck, boy."
Well, but I also was like, I don't know what any of these things mean, so I'm going to look in like Sport Compact Car magazine or whatever, and I found they had advertised, and so I said, you did back in the day is you ordered a catalog from a company.
Yeah.
So
is that considered the first gen?
That's first gen. It's the CRX.
That's the second gen, Corey.
Oh, my bad.
He's right. The other one, this one here is first gen. Yeah,
that one.
I have it. Might be on my Instagram too. You can find it on there. My actual car is on my Instagram, but so I looked it up. I ordered a catalog from Jackson Racing, and I realized there was all kinds of other shit in the catalog. So I was like,
hooked.
Well, look what else I can do. And then my friend Billy Bishop, his dad had just lowered every car he'd ever had. He had like a lowered Toyota pickup truck and a lowered Suzuki.
The dad was lowering stuff?
Oh yeah. 100%.
Oh, that's sick.
So Billy and I, we toyed around with cars, and my buddy Dennis and his dad was like, yeah, you can lower that. Super easy. It's got torsion bar suspension. And I was like, I don't even know what that means. So he's like, you just turn this little nut down and it lowers the suspension. So we cranked the front down and it sat real fucking low to the ground. It looked awesome. So I was like, how do you lower the rear?
Okay, with a rake.
Super raked. And so he was like, you got to get springs or you got to hack these. And I was like, sounds good. We're fucking cutting the springs.
Nice.
So we cut the springs. I had a lowered CRX. It was awesome. And that car, I don't remember what happened. I think I sold that car. I had a big car audio system. That was the car I had the bigger system in. I had like The back, I had a full Orion HCCA amp set up, a 225 HCCA.
I was about to say
2150.
225. Sick.
A 2150. I had 3 JL
red
audio
one,
10W6.
right?
Yeah,
Red or
both
black?
red.
Both red?
Both red.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta have the HCCA.
I know.
Uh,
I like the black, though.
yeah, the black one.
I was a
subtle.
golf kid long before golf was a thing.
The red one, you could run it like a half ohm mono.
You could, and it wouldn't blow up, dude.
Nope.
Just put all your speakers in parallel,
Exactly.
dude.
Just keep running them.
Yep.
That's what I did. I ran 3 JL Audio 10W6s all parallel.
Oh, my God.
Perfect.
So it's
Those were dual 6 ohms.
a
so
1.5 ohm.
It was one ohm. So it was dual
Okay,
6
yeah,
ohms,
yeah.
so 333 and then 1. So a single ohm on a 225. So
that amp was getting hot, boy.
oh yeah. You had to run like a 40 amp fuse or something.
It was a space heater.
Yeah, almost.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So
my
anyway,
God.
that car, that was the car that had the first little bit of performance stuff, and then I got some like CRX HF. I think it was a great color, but it was a
Super
terrible car.
efficiency one.
Terrible. I think that car. I don't remember. I just didn't want. Oh,
It has the
that
craziest
same-
gearing because for crazy mileage, it has crazy gearing.
Like hypermiling, yeah.
Exactly. Before
terrible.
that
And
was a
it
thing.
was automatic too, so it was a piece of shit.
Oh my God.
So I was at the same dealership again, that Honda dealership in Alexandria, and we were skating the stairs, or I was skating around back or whatever, and there was a white 94 SI hatch on the.
Oh shit, Corey.
Corey's
Oh
Corey's
shit.
like, and I was like, oh, I really fucking like this. And mind you, this was 1995, so it was already a year old.
Mm-hmm.
I think I ended up paying. It was the first car I had ever financed. Everything else was like a $3,000 car or something like that. And this one was like, I think it was close to 10 grand at the time. But I had a job. I don't remember what I was doing. I think I was working at a trophy shop or something.
Sick.
Yeah, that's it. I ended up.
It was an SI?
Yeah.
So sick, dude.
Yeah.
White.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yep. Manual, obviously, and crappy D series engine.
What color was the
VTEC,
interior?
gray.
Gray.
So that car, since I had already got a bunch of sport compact car magazines, and I was super like
Dude.
digging into all this stuff, me being kind of like a weird business minded kid at the time, I was like, I think I can start a business and I can get these parts, discounted wholesale prices,
Mm-hmm.
and I can sell them to my friends, and we can all hook our cars up.
So you were drop shipping before drop shipping was a thing.
Well, essentially, it was just people that were near me that were like, yo, I want to get some iBox springs. And I was like, I can get those. You want DC Sports headers? You want JG fucking throttle bodies? You want, whatever. So I did it the legit way. Went down to the business license office. I got a business license. I think I actually started an LLC. I don't remember. It's been a long time, but it was called SI Racing. But like, the SIR logo, capital S, lowercase I, capital R. It was that, and then Acing after it. So that was my company name.
Yeah.
And I would order stuff from whatever companies in California that believed I had a legitimate business. It was legally a business.
Yeah,
but
it's the
I was-
document
I was just some
wise.
kid
I
with a
wasn't even
fucking-
out of my mom's basement. I was out
Yeah.
of my bedroom.
It was out of the
house.
8th floor apartment of my mom's
Sick.
our apartment. We lived in
Oh,
Alexandria. So, and I had a bunch of stuff done to it, and we started meeting a few other people in the area that had like kind of performance oriented cars. But at this point, it was.
But how influential was Sport Compact Car Magazine?
Oh,
Because
it's the
I went from Car Audio Magazine into the
exactly.
Sport Compact
CANE
Car Magazine.
to Sport Compact
Correct.
Car.
100%.
That's exactly.
We have lived parallel audio lives.
Yep,
Parallel auto lives.
Yeah, you go from wanting to be an SPL champ to being like, I want to go a little quick.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a few
Sport
things to
Compact
that
Car
car.
Magazine. Premature of PVW.
I don't remember what suspension was on it, but I'm pretty sure it was just Tokiko's and iBox. Oh, it was iBox race springs. I remember that. They had to be the race springs.
Mm-hmm.
And then it had, whatever intake. I think it had a good throttle body. I did port match intake just, because you thought that made a fucking difference. I guess it did technically, and then a DC Sports header, HKS exhaust. And then
It's going to give you 10% more power, which was 1.5 horsepower.
I was and then I wanted wheels and tires on the car, but I didn't want to go down the same route that everybody else was doing. It was like these kind of crappy Japanese like Inkies or whatever. They were just trash. So I got a set of 16 by 7.5 TSW Hockenheim R's
So sick.
on 21540s. And it's go on my Instagram. It's on there. It's fucking a little white EF.
Got to do some digging.
Yeah, it's in there. Scroll down. It's down there a bit, but past all the good stuff.
Pass.
You'll see. You'll see a little white. It's not too far down. But
All right.
anyway, It handled like it was awesome. It was a go-kart. And then so we found a few more friends that were in the area. Billy Bishop and I, John Hazel, Eric Lawson, several other people, Dennis Bachman. We were in a small car club called Atlantic Auto Sports, and it was a very motorsport themed car club where you had to have like performance modifications for your car. You couldn't just like put chrome wheels on and call it a day. Sorry, Danny Santamace. But we tried to do like autocross events. We did drag racing. I think I won a trophy. I think I won second place in the very first EIP import
Running
shootout.
a 15.61.
I think it was a 15-1.
Sick.
Over and over. It was bracket racing.
Oh,
so,
okay.
yeah, I think the fastest I ever ran was like a 49 or something like
Dude,
that.
same thing with
But
my Mark II
mind you,
VR.
this was like pre Greddy turbo kit era. Like this is before you could buy a $4,500 pre-made turbo kit.
Yeah.
So
eBay turbos didn't exist yet.
not at all. Not even close. But that is where I kind of got into the Volkswagen world because John Hazel, I met John through the car world. We met, I think technically we used to see him driving in Southern Maryland because he lived in Indian Head, and we would always drive down that way to get down to Waldorf, which is where I would always hang out, friends down there. And John had a 1995 red Golf Sport 2-liter, and it was lowered on BBS RXs, had a splitter on the front. It looked fucking so good. It was like the proper nobody had a car that was like on good looking wheels. It did have like crappy like Euro TA tires on the back, like mini truck tires, but it didn't matter at the time. But
that was the time though. So
that was the era. You didn't have too many options, honestly.
correct.
So John and I ended up working at a pizzeria together, Old Town Pizzeria, and it was me, John Hazel, Rob Gordon, who started JDMcars.com. Actually, I haven't talked to him in a very long time. And Brian Reeder. I don't know if you remember any of those. VW
I remember
cars.
Brian Reeder. He had a car in PVW at some point.
Yeah, Jazz Blue Projexo wide body on Kinesis K58s.
All right, so,
I just scrolled by a photo of that car.
Yeah, the blue car.
Yeah.
So you find the EF in there yet?
No,
Let's
no, I
get
haven't.
Get down there. You're fine.
Dude,
Rich, you have a lot of posts. Holy
it's been
cow!
up there for
oh wait, hold on.
Yeah,
Speak
baby.
of the devil.
Yeah,
there
that's
it is.
Hell yeah.
Wow, the Hawks look great on
That's
there.
what I said. I thought they looked fucking great.
The Hawks look
215s.
great on there.
So that
red
red-
valve cover.
Red nuts.
The red car
locking
behind
pins.
it belongs to Eric Lawson. He started that club with a few other people, and we joined. John's car's peeking out of the corner in the back there. That red Golf with the
Yep.
wing.
Mid-wing, yeah.
I can almost
So,
tell
yeah.
that's John's head right there at the opening of your hatch with his hat on. Sure looks
I
like
think it
John.
is.
That
That-
looks like John.
Yeah, I think that is John.
Shout out, John.
Shout out to John Hazel.
Yo, Corey, you see the side marker?
Yeah, I see where it is.
So sick.
Perfect.
That's really cool.
That's where
Yeah.
it's supposed
So
to. Well, it's not where it's supposed to be.
The
That's
side,
where I
he has
where
the
it
side
looks to.
marker in where the side trim goes in the
Yeah.
fender. It looks great.
Yeah, and that car had a very small, subtle, like car audio system in it. Still had one JL10 in the back. It had like at that point it was in my Phoenix Gold era, so I had to have Phoenix Gold processors and amps and stuff like that.
I had a precision power. Phase.
I went through a PPI.
I think I had a
phase
PPI
Precision Power
Incorporated.
So this car is the car I had when John and I were working at the pizzeria. John, I don't exactly know how he got involved, but he found out about these guys that were opening a VW tuning store shop, whatever you want to call it, in Springfield, Virginia. And he ended up going to work there as a salesman or whatever they were having him do at the time. And he said, hey, they want to see your car. They want to talk to you. Maybe you can come in and do some of the JDM stuff, the Honda and Acura stuff. I was like, okay, that's cool. So I met with Brad and Adrian, which at the time it was, I don't know, I'm sure Brad has talked about it, but they were, VW Sport USA was originally a division of Joe Hoppen Motorsport. And Joe Hoppen Motorsport was out of Sarasota, Florida. I think it was Sarasota. They were the importers of Opt.
Okay.
Time out. Quick review. Everyone in the world, listen up right now, okay? It is not ABT products.
Correct.
Or ABT Sport or ABT
Yep.
Spoiler.
Sport line.
It's Opt.
It's
okay?
Opt.
They have a guy, his name is Christian Opt.
Yeah, Johann Christian.
Johann and Christian Opt. They are people. It's a German name. It's Opt.
Opt.
Okay, everybody?
Okay.
Just so you know.
I like.
Christian Opt recently running, I think it's the son of Johan. I don't know,
I
but
don't remember.
Christian Opt races in DTM. He probably looks a little younger than me, but he raced the Opt car yellow with giant Opt logos.
Yeah, yeah.
And his name is Christian Opt.
Right. It's
Okay?
Opt. It's not
Right.
ABT.
It's not
Thank-
ABT.
thank you,
Everybody,
Scott.
please.
Yeah, exactly.
Daniel Opt. That's what it is. Daniel Opt. No, maybe.
He races Formula
maybe-
E. That's
Yeah,
pretty
but he
fucking
used to race DTM.
There were several Ops.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it's
there were,
Opt.
but there were no ABTs.
Correct. No
Okay.
ABTs.
So
moving
anyway.
on.
Moving. Anyway, moving on.
It's a
So-
Mark IV, not an MK4. You
Don't get me
fucking-
started on that. I have a full Vortex thread on the MK. You can dig that one up.
Ugh.
So they brought me into that, and Brad and Adrian. I'll give you another little backstory. A lot of people have always asked why there's so many VWs and Audis and stuff like that, like around DC. Brad and Adrian lived around Washington, D.C., and Brad was in Sarasota, Florida. And they decided to open VW Sport in the area because it was the most concentration of Volkswagen sales in the country. So they knew that's where their customer base would be.
Mhm.
So they said, well, if we're going to do it, why don't we do it around, Northern Virginia? So they had this little shop on Backlick Road in Springfield, Virginia. It was very much purposely placed in the most obscure area. It was diagonally across the street from the Volkswagen dealership, but it was in like a second floor. It might as well have been an accounting office over top of like a noodle restaurant. And you walked in and you literally walked into like a couple of cases with some display parts, but it was like a book full of stickers and some pictures of shit that they did. And Brad at that point had already done a VR6 swap in the Cabrio he had.
Mm-hmm.
He had already painted it mulberry. So it was like this wonderful mulberry. No, they didn't make a mulberry Cabrio. They didn't make a VR6 Cabrio.
So it was
he
mulberry
already
VR,
has this
yeah.
awesome
Light
car.
years ahead.
Yeah, and Adrian had a black Mark III Jetta GLX VR.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful black leather, like Opt headlights, Opt chin spoiler, Opt wheels. And I think Brad's car, I think they were both on A7s at the time, I think. Or A9, sorry. I can't remember. No, yeah, open lug Opt wheel, 17s. And they brought me in to say, hey, why don't we do some Honda and Acura stuff? And, since it's not VW Sport, we're going to call it something else. And so they decided to call it Import Designs. And instead of, remember the hood flags they ran on the corners of the hood?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of the hood flag, they ran a windshield flag, and it had a little lowercase I on it for the logo for Import Design. And that did not last long. I kind of got a bug for Volkswagens. I ended up buying an 84 Rabbit GTI, had a great time driving it around, was kind of abandoning the Honda.
You were like, this gearing is awesome.
It was a really fun car to drive. And honestly, at the end of the day, they were like, we're concentrating on the VW and Audi stuff. We're importing Projexo. We're importing Opt now directly.
Yeah.
We're doing all this stuff. Like, it's okay. You still know with the Honda shit. So if we get Honda kids come in, you talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's fine. No big deal. We
You're
don't
the
have to-
Honda guy if we get any.
we didn't really do the import design things very, very long. So we were above the noodle restaurant or whatever it was, and then decided to move to another location where there was a bay where we could actually work on cars. Because the reason they were across the street from the dealership was they were like, we need a place to fucking do stuff on cars. So they found it was actually a customer that wandered over from the dealership who was the tech at the dealership. His name's James Hoffmeyer Hoffy. I don't know if you remember that car, Scott. It was a blue.
I do
think it was
not.
porcelain blue. I can't remember the name of the color blue. But he ended up doing Opt headlights, chin spoiler, grill, skirts, wheels, blue taillights. It was like a cool build. It was one of the first like full builds they got to do for a customer.
Mm-hmm.
And then, anyway, he stayed the tech for a while. We ended up bringing another kid on that was doing tech work. We moved into this little shop in Alexandria, directly across the street from Electrodyne Racing. Electrodyne was Momo USA for many years, Racing Dynamics USA. They were also Freedom Design and Cami. And we had a shop across the street, and it wasn't an automotive complex. It was basically like any other business complex, but they had a bay door that you could drive into the back of. And I'm pretty sure they, just like many other people who have convinced business parks to let cars in, we're not going to be doing service work on cars. We're not going to be doing oil changes and fixing people's radiators and shit. We just want a place that we can put a car on the showroom so we can display our
parts.
work, what we
Yeah.
do, these cars that we build. We want to, yes, of course we did some wrenches, but I don't even think we had air tools. I think we did everything on hand jacks, stands, hand, tools, everything. So that was if you see old pictures of people that remember going to VW Sport that don't remember the weird little office over top of the restaurant, they remember going into this place that had like, Schrick manifolds on the wall. And
What was so my recollection, because again, the internet was not really a thing yet. This was probably right as Waterfest 1 was happening up in New York.
Yeah.
But my thing was the picture of you guys in PVW.
oh, and all the denim shirts.
Correct. And
That was a few years later.
okay, well, that's what I want to timeline it with that, because I just remember seeing all you guys in the denim shirts. You guys are piled in the cabrio, right?
Yes.
And then Franz, but it's just so many years later, and here I am. I know most of the people in that photo.
Yeah, Adrian and Brad in the front seat. So that iteration of the cabrio, Brad's Mulberry car got shot for European Car Magazine. It was on black 18-inch Kinesis K28s at the time, or K20s, I think they were. I can't remember.
And it's a small world back then, all you listeners.
This was the
There's
first.
no internet.
Yeah.
You don't understand, to get your car featured in a magazine, and then European Car, which was like a real national freaking mag. I mean,
This is a
was
real
big
magazine,
deal.
right? This was a big deal, and this
Back
is how
then.
big of a deal it was for the VW Sport crew. When Brad built the car, they built this wonderful Mulberry car. It had Projexo headlights, it had opt grill, chin spoiler, side skirts. It had Kinesis 18-inch. I think it was the first Mark III on 18s.
Yeah,
and they
put
were
that in your
Kinesis.
signature on Vortex.
And it was a VR6 car. It was a turbo VR6 car. The turbo kit was built through, I think it was half EIP and half Porsche pit stop. I can't remember exactly. But that car, it got driven down to Florida, got shot by Les Bidron for European Car Magazine. And then a year later, Brad said, we got to rebuild this car. We got to shoot it. We got to build another thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when the iteration of the Cabrio got flared fenders, 6-speed, I think it had the same seats in it. It had 964 Speedster, 964 RS, one-piece seats. But because we were an opt distributor and dealer, and they had Zoe headlight, it was the perfect car. I mean, Brad built the car to have exactly the car he wanted. It was the fucking best iteration of that car. But because we were an opt dealer, he showed it to opt, and they were like, no. You can't. I don't want that to represent. First of all, it can't be purple. It has to be a silver. It has to be a neutral color. I think they said it had to be like
So
black or
crazy.
silver or something like that.
Crazy.
Really?
So they did it. Then he put opt headlights on it to shoot it, and it went back down, got shot again. So it was in European Car Magazine twice, or actually, I can't remember. If Brad's in the chat, I don't know if he's gonna fucking jump on. He'll probably correct everything I'm saying because he remembers everything.
I don't know the time zone in the Philippines right now.
I don't know. He might be over there. I'm not sure. So, he built an epic car, and I ended up with that car several years later because he ended up selling it to a customer, and then that customer partied it out, or Brad parted part of it out before he sold it. And anyway, so
That's a silver car? Turned into a silver car?
yeah,
Okay.
the Mulberry Cabrio turned into the silver
Cabriolet. Silver
Yeah.
Cabriolet.
Well, it had to be
V6.
neutral color, right?
I'm pretty sure that was the deal. If you ever seen a photo of the two cars parked at a weird angle like this in front of a crazy house, it was Adrian's A4 18T Quattro and then the silver Cabrio.
Mhm.
That's like a
And then
iconic
another
photo.
So, silver cab VR turbo cover of the Mark III Madness PVW issue, correct?
Yeah.
Again, everybody, this is a big deal. The Mark III Madness issue of PVW is like
Yeah. It's Mark III
it's like
Bible.
it's like a Bible for all Mark IIIs, the whole issue, and that was the car in the cover, and it was crazy sick
Yeah.
at the time. There was so much going on in that
So
one issue.
That was the car we were all sitting in our Canadian tuxedos, and
Correct.
that is the picture that you're talking about. And then we're standing out front. That was the era that they got a cease and desist from Volkswagen. They basically said, you can't use the VW or Volkswagen or anything like that. Stop, kill, deny.
like Singer did, like Porsche did the Singer.
Something like that. So
Yeah.
they basically had to come up with a new name. And I'm pretty sure Franz was the one that came up with it.
Of course.
something like that. They basically said, hey, the 1552 is the tool that's used to like do diagnostic tool, tuning and stuff like that. Why don't we call it 1552? And Brad said 1552 design, which a throwback to the import design. He had, he tried it with the designs back then. I thought that was that was cool.
Sidebar: this is Franz Diebold, another guy I want to get in.
Tuna,
this pocket.
right?
Yeah,
Just absolute nerd. Absolute nerd. When I have car questions, there's only one person I call.
Yeah,
and
he's
his
a
name is
wealth
Franz.
of knowledge.
Chuck
He's
has some
incredibly
relationship
talented.
with
Well,
Franz.
Franz was up in the Northeast here for a while, working at a couple different dealerships, not dealerships, like specialty shops. And somehow he hooked up with tuning the guys over there at Branch Works, maybe pre-Branch Works, something or other.
Thinking about in Yaro's world?
Yeah, that's probably what it
They
is.
know each other,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Franz used to come down to VW Sport as a customer, and he and his close friend Eric Langbine, they would come in and hang out. And Franz and I kind of chummed it up a little bit because we had like similar taste in music and art and stuff like that. So we became friends. He had this 1985 Golf GTI that was like a shit box. It was totally stripped down to nothing. It basically inside had 2 seats, a steering wheel, and a dash, and that was it. And outside, it was very low, stiff on RMs, and he put a 2-liter 16 valve in it, and it was built, really mildly. It had an intake and it had a Velocity sport throttle. I think he was real close friends with the guys at Velocity. Had a Euro intake cam, or I can't remember which cam that you did, the Euro intake or exhaust cam. 50 millimeter manifold, nice exhaust, and it had a trans, I think it was a 2Y16 valve trans or an AGB that had a AVX Eco Diesel 425 ring and pinion. That car ripped. That was the most fun car I've ever driven. Every car I've ever driven today, I still say
Chasing the Dragon.
compare. Yeah, it's Chasing the Dragon.
And it's all about gearing. I talk about it all the time.
I try to explain it to so many people. Gearing makes all the difference. Where that car would rip the shit out of anything on the street till about 85 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, smoke it. And then, third gear in the Mustang is gone. But that car was so fucking fun to drive. I remember being balls to the wall, 10 tenths in that car with Franz driving on the way back to his house. And it was just, it's like a magical memory for me to remember how fucking fun that car was. And so when I got a chance to build a Mark II, what was he talking about? I definitely do. Don't stop. I hate it. I said I'm gonna do all the fun shit I want to do to Mark II, but I have to have a 425 ring and pinion, but I want to be able to go faster than 82 miles an hour. So I did the option 6 speed kit. Like, we can talk about the silver car for an hour, so I don't want to.
All right, so now I'm gonna get real quick. So my introduction is Rich, H2O. We are at Down Speedway. First few years of it
What year is
being
this?
there. What year was it, Rich?
It was 2001.
Yeah, at the most 2000
Or
2001.
2000.
But anyways, it was the first. I think it was the first year at Downs.
It was
the first year.
It was
of H2O.
2000.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Rich's car was parked in there, and it was a silver Mark II, all nicey nice, 16 valve, and he had the 6-speed. So like, you look in the engine bay, you can see because like the transmission is just longer. There's a whole box on the end.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think I remember talking to Rich for 2 seconds, or someone talking about it. That's the car, few later iteration that Corey has up.
If you see it with RMs on it, that was usually
Correct.
I did have it as a VR car with.
You had the
RMs,
wide
but-
and RMs though, right?
Yeah, I think so. That was with
So-
the Edition S ones. That was VR Turbo. That was the second year, or even the third year.
But the previous
third
year,
year.
and I remember I was doing research in the fact of in PVW counting bolts on RMs and RSs to see how to get lips. Like it just wasn't. It was just so different. I was counting bolts
So
to
that-
figure it out.
Yeah.
And 16s were different than 15s, and like holy crap, 17s. How does that work? This whole thing. I remember calling a guy in the UK to be like, where do you get the lips for the whatever? And I show up to H2O, and there's Rich's car with wider lips, the 6-speed. And I remember him saying like, yeah, the 6-speed's kind of good, but if you get on it, the engine mount moves, and then the end of the transmission slams into the bottom of the frame rail.
I ended up going with a solid motor mount after that because its stock one lifted too much and it was bad. So, but yeah, find the one with the RMs. Yeah, that's an old picture. Jesus,
That's Rich on the left there, Corey.
yeah, that's me from a long time ago. Look at that, I look like a mini trucker.
Oh, Scott Mason in the chat. What up, bro?
Oh hell
CK
yeah!
Truck Mag.
Oh fuck yeah!
Happy birthday,
It had
Scott.
remote start. I don't
Look at
remember
that. Always wondered where the 1552 name came from.
And
Yeah,
now,
there you
you
go.
know.
I too also.
And it was never 1552. It was always 1552
Yeah.
design.
I remember Brad saying somewhere else that like, yeah, Franz came up with the name. You're not wrong there.
I thought it was
Like
that.
Franz wasn't claiming it. Like I think Brad, he was like, yeah, so Franz came up with the name.
Yeah, I think Franz had a 1552 or 1551. I can't remember.
Who knows?
It was the laptop, like the handheld, the one that you could.
So
do
that
now.
car was sick.
Yeah.
You did another reboot over that year because it was like the next year.
So
there
that
it
was
is.
so that was when it was that was a 2-liter 16 valve car. So I bought that car when I worked. Oh, so hold on. Let me go back. When I worked at VW Sport and they changed to 1552, there was an iteration where they said they needed to grow, they needed to make some changes, and Brad basically said, "Hey, no hard feelings. Last to hire, first to fire. We got to bring in this guy that's going to be like a manager. We need a business manager. I'm doing the macro stuff. I need somebody to take care of the day-to-day operations." So they brought in Steve Baheeler, who was, long-time employee of VW Sport, long-time customer before that. And Steve came in, and what they said to me was, "Hey, we talked to the guys across the street at Electrodyne. You basically are a shoe in there if you want to go to work for there, but in the meantime, you're fired." So I went over there. They said, "Absolutely, come on." I was a salesman there for about a year, and
And this was like people would call in on the phone. Hey, I'm looking to get this part for my whatever.
Yeah, more importantly, this was a big time wholesale operation. This is when you had
okay.
like printouts in the morning and you had a call log and you had to make calls to customers that you had to make sure that you had a history. It was all automated. Like even the phone system knew that you called those numbers. Like that's how big it was. But we were also doing, there was a lot of Racing Dynamics wheels, suspension, and stuff like that. So it was primarily Racing Dynamics, but we also did some Freedom Design. There was another company called Desert Sport that they did. It was basically a line of Freedom Design for like SUVs and off-road vehicles. It was just
Pickup
garbage.
trucks.
So yeah, that's when it was a 2-liter 16 valve. It was
at
on the
Auto
RA's
Authority.
temperate. So that's in my mom's
you were
garage. So when I went to I haven't gotten to Auto Authority yet. When I was
Sorry.
at Electrodyne, the guys from Auto Authority hit me up. Ali Farzad, who worked at VW Sport originally, went to work for Auto Authority, and he said, "Hey, I talked to my manager over here, Pat DeSarno, who was old school from Marcor, who was also a Momo distributor. They did a ton of stuff, Personal. They were like, hey, we need somebody else over here. We need somebody that knows computers, somebody that can help do a little graphic stuff, also do sales. Are you interested?" And I said, absolutely. So I left Electrodyne, went to work at Auto Authority Performance Engineering, which was a big Porsche and BMW tuner. And they started to dig into Volkswagen. They were one of the first people to do like a G60 pulley kit with fuel pressure regulator and chip and stuff like that. They did a lot of chip tuning because they had a real tuner. They had an engine dyno bay, a rolling road dyno. They did a lot of real, actual. They weren't just buying somebody else's software from Europe and flipping it. Well, not at that time, at least. So I went to work over there, and this was 2000, and I got excited because I got an opportunity to go to GTI International, which was like the biggest fucking Volkswagen show on earth, but it was in England, right?
Yeah.
So I went to GTI International. At this point, I just had a laundry list of shit I wanted to bring back for the car. So I brought like suitcases, inside suitcases to bring back more parts, and I brought back with me on the plane. I checked a couple bags, but I had 2 50-millimeter intake manifolds, a set of Audioscape door pods. I carried 2 sets of Hapish pop-out windows with me on the tarmac and up the stairs. And I was like, can I just put these on the plane? And mind you, this is pre-September 11th.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they were like, yeah, we'll just put them in the coat closet. They had no idea. They didn't know fucking idea what was in those boxes. So I came back and I had all this shit. And I asked Al Collins originally, and then I asked Joel, the other owner of Auto Authority. I said, hey, can I build this little project in the back? At this point, I'm driving the silver Cabrio daily driver, and I start building this was a white car at the time. I dismantled it. There's a bunch of pictures of it. Yeah, it is right there. That is in the dyno bay of Auto Authority. That right there. This is when there used to be a helicopter parked right there.
A helicopter?
Yeah, Al Collins had a helicopter parked in the back of the dyno bay, and it was just like a little, if you could call it a helicopter.
It was a 90 up 16 valve, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a 91 16 valve.
Okay.
So but it was on teardrops. I took it down to that, and then I started to build all these things and do all these, I started putting all these parts together, and I said, I just want to do the 2-liter 16 valve with the this and then that. And I wanted to do the 425 final drive, and I had all these
chasing
plans.
the Franz Dragon 16.
Yeah, but I wanted to build a cool car at the same time. So Brian Reeder, his dad had a rental, like a tool rental shop down in Dumfries, Virginia, and behind the tool rental shop was an auto body shop that worked on his cars. It did some painting work for his Acuras, and so he said, "Yeah, my dude can paint it. What do you want done to it?" And I said, "Well, I want to shave the fender lights, get rid of the banana lights. I want to put Audi door handles on it." And he's like, "Okay, we'll figure it out." So like this is back when PVW you could buy Audi door handle kits
like
that
the
were like
rectangle piece.
Yeah, you just cut out a square, weld them in, and I went to the junkyard and got like Audi 80 or Audi 90 chrome rear door latches, and yeah, I'm just reminiscing. There's another photo of all the parts like laying on a table, everything off to the side, like on a that was me. I pulled the engine down. I didn't need to rebuild the engine. I just wanted to refresh it and tidy it up, do all the bolt-on parts. So the car got painted, all the bodywork got done, and then my mother, at the time, my grandmother had just passed away, and my mom was like, "Hey, I don't want to live in Virginia anymore. I think I'm going to move back to Maryland. Your grandmother left some money. It wasn't enough to retire on, but it was enough to pay off the debts, and I think I'm going to go try to buy a house," because she was just living in an apartment. So she put a down payment on a house in Maryland. And I said, "Is it cool if I come live with you and for a little while?" She's like, "Yeah." At this point, I was like 24 years old, 25.
Yeah.
And she let me assemble it back in the garage. So I was living in her house. I was putting the car back together. I was doing a bunch of stuff. And what year is this? This was 2000. This was, so yeah, same thing. PVW magazine had ads in the back where you could buy wheel lips. I think it was Awesome GTI. I'm almost positive it was Awesome. And so I ordered 5 wheel lips for my RMs because I got a set of 5 RMs. Mm-hmm. And then I sent them up to Wheel Collision Center in Bath, PA. They refinished the wheels, assembled them with the wider lips, and I had a set of 5 of those. 15 8.5s. I did the rally front end. Franz actually was the first person I think that ever had HIDs in his rally lights, and he gave me his old rally ballasts or transformers and bulb housings and stuff like that. So I had HID rallies. I got brand new OEM bumper covers, arches, trim,
all the plastics,
skirts, roof
available.
rails.
It's incredible. Like at the time, you had no clue, but at the time, like buying that stuff brand new.
Car's 9 years old. Everything was still available.
It was all still available from the dealership. It wasn't terribly expensive. And I still, for the custom work, we did, like I said, we shaved the fender lights, but we also shaved the push button in the rear hatch, and I needed a remote pop on that. And so it had a rear wing, so I got rid of that. And I had a back glass that I got without the holes in it for the rear upper spoiler and all the dumb little custom shit that you wanted to do when you saw all these cars in PVW magazine. So I finally got an opportunity to do it. I built it.
Yep.
And then a year later, I rode in somebody's, probably 6 months later, I rode in somebody's VR6 turbo car, and I'm like, "Yep, I'm doing that. we got a fucking VR6. I want 350 horsepower." So that is when it went to the next iteration where it had the Edition 1 or S2s or whatever they're called, wheels on it. I did a Mark III dash swap. It had Recaro A8s in it. I had Rally Golf front door panels and rear door cards, Corrado rear seat. It was freaking dialed. It was a sick car.
Yep.
It had A8s. It had plus suspension with DE reds on the front. It was 16 8s in the front, 9s in the rear. On good tires, you could get fucking good 16-inch tires.
Dunlop SP
9000s.
9000s.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, that was the best iteration.
I don't think that's
of that
my
car.
yellow car in the background, but I was there with my yellow car, but I was parked in cool guy spot, not out there.
This was the second year. The cool guy spot was in the year before when we were you were out in front of
I was out actually on the track.
Yeah, facing the track. Yeah.
They wanted to be in top dog, and I was like,
so
no. I don't care.
I know a lot of people reminisce about H2O, but that really was the era when H2O moved from Lime Rock down to Ocean City, Maryland, went to Ocean Downs.
H2O3.
Yep, H2O3. That was the beginning of a wild era of just the most amazing groups of friends gathering together, and it wasn't a shit show.
Yep.
It wasn't. It wasn't
was
anything
awesome.
other than a place to gather. Eventually, a few years in, obviously started turning into, burnouts and people fucking on the racetrack and shit like that.
What was his
but
name? Cole.
I can't remember.
Like a homie in the Audi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot his name, but
So yeah. So
The year he did that, he was he was next door to me where at Secrets. That's where he was staying.
Okay.
And I remember like there was a big commotion.
Colton.
Colton, I think
He had
that's
like
right.
he had like a cowboy hat and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
Yeah. Wild guy.
Wild. So that iteration of that car, it lasted a season, and then I don't remember why, but I think, I know somebody. So the guy that was doing the engine stuff work for me was like, hey, I know somebody that wants to buy your driveline. And so I sold my engine, trans, turbo kit, exhaust, everything for like $10,000.
Holy shit.
That's an insane amount of money back then.
That's
Rich was like,
wild.
"Let me get my wrenches now. I'll start taking."
That's exactly what I said. It could sit without an engine. I don't care. So,
Yeah.
And then later, I got an NA VR, put it back in it, put it on some 16-inch Beetle steel wheels, Beetle steel wheels, and sold it to a guy named Dan, who ended up keeping the car for a while, doing a few things to it, and he ended up selling it.
Court.
Huh?
Court.
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 Yeah.
Yep.
Is it, Corbin or Court? Court Sykes. Yeah.
Corey, I know you're an Android guy. Sidebar, I don't even know what year this was, but Rich was like, "Yo,
Court.
look at this thing. It's called an iPhone," and he had the first iPhone.
2007.
Dude, it was so wild. We were all hanging out, and he was like, "Yeah, you can play with it." He's like, "Yo, start typing a word. When you fuck it up, watch what happens, whatever." And I was like, "Oh my god, how is this space? This thing is straight from outer space. Look at this." Dude, it was so wild. So
auto-
I worked.
it was one of my it was my first memory with Rich. Was just like, "Here, man, check out this thing called an iPhone," and I was like, "Whoa, I gotta get one of these."
I worked in the mall at the time that it came out. And like there'd been signs in the mall for weeks leading up to it.
Yeah.
Never paid any attention to it. I showed up to work that morning and was like,
Lined out all the way out.
what the fuck is going on? And like I remember like walking to the store and being like, what the fuck is going on? And just everyone in front of the Apple store. And it was just like, what is going on? Like, what is
It's funny, you were working at a mall. I was delivering to the mall as
Yeah.
a job every day. So where I was outside sorting my truck and run the boxes in is like the smoking lounge for everybody. So I remember going to the dude from the AT&T store. I was like, "Bro, hook it up. Let me get one, whatever." He goes, "All right, next time I get one, I'm going to come out here. You better be here ready to go." And I was like, "Okay." And I remember switching from Verizon to AT&T to get an iPhone. It was so sick.
I've had the
Anyways.
same cell phone number since I ever had a cell phone.
Same
I
thing.
still have
I
it
only have
on
one.
every phone, yeah.
Yeah. 867-5309. Call me anytime.
I mean,
But yeah, look at that
yeah,
thing.
I took that photo outside of my skate shop. So I had a skateboard shop in Waldorf, Maryland. So yeah, you can see all the whatever. It's
Yeah.
everybody. Most people know that car. If you don't know that car, there's that car. Welcome to my old car.
I've seen the car.
Those A8s ended up in Jordy's car. Ended up Jordan's black Mark III, and I think does he have his 964 now?
No.
Well, I don't know where that. Does he
I don't
still
know
have
where-
the Mark III?
I don't even know. I think so.
Well, that's where
No,
they
he
ended
doesn't
up.
have it.
Well, that's where those went. I don't remember where the wheels went.
Dude, the painted matched back Audi. I mean, Recaro A8s, so sick. Pop outs. I got an 85 rear glass, spoiler, FUBA, shaved plinth. We called it back in the day.
Plinth.
Is that
Plinth.
the plinth?
It's
The rear pan is shaved.
This guy right here?
Yep. The rear
Yep.
pan is shaved, where the rear emblem should be in the
Yeah,
center.
because it's a late car. So
Yeah.
yeah.
The only thing I didn't. Mine was me and Rich. Like
give me
we were
a
the
critique.
only people with Audi door handles. Like back in the day. Like all the cars in PVW had it, but for America, like
Yeah, it was me.
it was
and
like
you, I
me
think.
and Rich. And I remember I had black contrasting handles, and
Yep.
Rich had painted ones. And people were like, "How come Rich is painting or whatever?" I was like, "Oh, it depended on the model you got of the Audi. Because
Yeah.
if you got the super high version Audi,
They were
they
painted.
were painted.
Yeah,
but
body matched,
I
yeah.
got mine. I wanted mine.
You also had a
black.
black
I
offset
wanted a lot.
theme. Yeah,
Correct.
you had a lot
I
of
wanted a lot of
contrast.
the contrast, but yeah, it was just wild back in the day.
Yeah, that was a cool car. I had a
was a
Corrado
sick
leather
car.
rear seat. Like I said, rally
It's
door panels. and
interesting.
Full Mark III dash swap with working air conditioning. I started to do a Climatronic swap and I never did, but I faked it for the magazine. You know.
Yeah.
Dude, the Mark III dash swap in the thread on Vortex.
I don't remember. Was that?
Dude, you remember you cut out the bar, the whole support bar
and I
behind
welded
the firewall,
and welded the side. Yeah.
It was a massive build thread you had on Vortex back in the day. It was wild.
Climatronic systems like my Great White Buffalo.
It's fucking sick.
Yeah.
Dude,
the one
Super
dude,
Mark III
I'm
kid
pretty
here.
sure the
Yeah.
dude that had the Zonker before the guy who had it now, or I can't remember. He, I think, was the first person. I can't remember his name. He had a yellow. What car did he have? He was the first person, and he got it working. And he was pretty much like, "Yeah, yours wasn't working. Mine was working." And I was like,
He's all up in
100%,
your face.
no question. I was like, "Fucking, that's awesome." Mine definitely did not work.
There's all these different sensors and everything.
Here's a
goes-
little inside baseball. That car never had a headliner.
Really?
Sick.
In this photo, it didn't have a headliner. It did when I pulled it out of the car, but then when it got moved and broke, it did not have a headliner.
That's it.
Love
yeah.
it.
Just body matched.
No,
And then
I
he
mean, it's
fucking
like
sold
silver,
it.
yeah.
Why
Yeah.
did you sell it? Why'd you sell it?
I don't remember. I probably just was bored of it.
That's
I don't
fine.
know.
Same thing.
I sold it. Oh, so ultimately, so the Cabrio, when the Cabrio got wrecked, it was a weird part of my life. So my mom was like, "Hey, let me remind you, you're a high school dropout. You got your GED. That's great and all. Do something with your life." And I said, "I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do." So I ended up going to community college. I went to Anne Arundel Community College and enrolled in an A+ computer class, thinking, okay, I'll do something fucking computer. I don't know. I like computers. I've been on the internet since like 1996,
Yep.
95. Let me figure out something to do. So I went to this class, and during the literally it was like a 12-week course or something like that. And in the middle of it, I got into a really bad car accident in the Cabrio.
Wrecked it.
I was out
totaled
for
it.
probably 3 days total. Came back in, missed a bunch of information, tried to take the test, failed the test for C+, and was like, all right, fuck college. I'm not doing this anymore.
Yep.
So like I said, my grandmother passed away, and I said, I don't know what to do. Like, I always wanted to open a skateboard shop my whole life. Like, I grew up skateboarding as part of my life. I always wanted to do it. My mom and dad had separated, so my dad wasn't around. My dad was local though, so we kept in touch. Obviously, we were close. And she said, "Why don't you talk to your dad and see if it's something that he thinks is a good idea, and if he does, then we'll talk about trying to figure out a way to fund it."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Okay." So I'm 26 years old. My dad and I sit down. We do the whole, is this going to work on paper? Mind you, he's a retired banker, so he knows. That's the reason I have any skill.
That's the reason you're very
working with money.
entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
And I know how to, dot I's, cross T's. So he said, it sounds like it's going to work okay. It's very low margin, but I mean, it's just you working there. It's not like you're paying a bunch of people to work there. So if you want to do it, I think you can probably do it. How much do you think it'll cost? And I was like, I don't know, maybe $30,000. And so I talked to my mom, and my mom was like, your grandmother would rather you do this and try and fail than not. So here, figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I opened up a skateboard shop in Waldorf, Maryland in 2001. That was when the photos got taken there. And I'm pretty sure I just was like, all right, I have to everything that I had, any money that was coming in from the skateboard shop was just going back out. At this point, I had moved out of my mom's house and moved in with some roommates and, tried to be an adult. And by 2004, I didn't want to live in Maryland anymore, decided I wanted to move to San Francisco and wanted to work in the skateboard industry or some car industry or do something out there. So my buddy Gordon, who was one of my best friends, he was moving to San Francisco to pursue a career in skateboarding. And I said to my girlfriend that I had been with for maybe a year and a half, I was like, hey, I want to move to California. You want to move with me? And she was like, okay. So
Lindsay?
yeah. So I found a kid who opened another skateboard shop 45 minutes south of me, and I reached out to him and I was like, "Hey, do you want to buy my shop?" And he was like, "Let me talk to my parents," because they helped him. And he came back and was like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "I will sell it for inventory alone." I had made money for several years, but it wasn't a lot. I mean, it's really funny. You ever look at your Social Security statement to see what your recorded income was ever? It's really funny. It's like $0, $0, $32,000, $12. So, yeah, there's the car with the Mark III dash and the rally door panels, and yeah,
You're missing the plugs in the door. Fail.
fuck you.
That's
It's missing the whole headliner, Scott.
right.
Oh, you can
I
actually
see
see it
now.
here,
You can
yeah.
see it now.
Exactly.
So sick.
So anyway, I literally sold my skateboard shop and uprooted. I put everything I could into some pods. I moved to San Francisco, and I was there for 2 months. I actually tried to work in the automotive industry. Jason Whipple, Thank God for Jason Whipple. He let me sleep on his couch for way longer than he should have with a friend that I didn't expect to bring with me. And I tried to get, he was working up at Sears Point, I think it was at the time, or yeah.
Or is that
Infinity-
Stasis?
Yeah, so he was working at Brits, I think, which was the parts company, but he was friends with the Stasis guys, and I went up trying to get a job at Stasis, and I think they were like, we don't really want to either hire you or hire anybody at this point. I don't think they needed anybody, so I ended up finding a job in the skateboard industry in Pinole, California, which is like north of Oakland across the Bay Bridge. I was there for 2 months. My girlfriend at the time was supposed to move out, and she decided that she didn't want to move out. And so instead of me just staying out there and doing what I wanted to do, I said, you still want to be with me? Do we still have a relationship? She's like, yeah. So what if I move back and we buy a house in Baltimore and I do something there? And she's like, okay, that sounds great. So I I just drove back across country. I bought a house in
Can't
Federal
believe you
Hill,
couldn't just
Baltimore.
get a job at Deluxe.
This was, mind you, I know I should. I probably could have, honestly, but I was working at a skateboard company called Systems, which was Supernaut, Unbelievers, Ledge Lube, a couple other companies. And it was a really small like manufacturer, but they were a great little company. And I feel bad that I was only there for like a couple of weeks, honestly, working, and I had to dip. So I came back. I ended up buying a house in Federal Hill, which was a nicer part of the city, but it was the era when you could basically borrow money because you could fill out a stated income, no doc, income only, interest only, adjustable rate mortgage. And they loaned me way more money than they should have. I bought a house that was like $330,000 because I said, hey, Billy, you want to be my roommate? Hey, Lindsay, you have a job. You want to pay rent? So we were all splitting the rent, and I was living in the house that was like way more fucking money than I should have. I ended up taking a job at the VW dealership, working in the parts department for 2 years. That sucked because I was supposed to move up to like an assistant manager position, but the manager left. A new manager came in and was like, no, you're a parts guy. So I tried to be a service advisor, and the service department was like, we don't have any service department jobs. So I saw a listing for a Land Rover service advisor. So I ended up working as a service advisor for a year.
That's a great career choice. Those things are biggest pieces of shit. Always break.
You were busy.
I was, but it was
You
like
get paid on commission. You're gonna be rich.
that was the most money I made on paper to date in my entire life.
See, called it.
But it was also the highest my blood pressure had ever been. It was the worst health I had ever been. It was stressing me to death, and I basically said, I can't do this. So this was 2007. My dad had, like I said, retired, and he wasn't really doing anything productive. So I asked my dad if he was interested in buying some, distressed homes in Baltimore and doing renovations, like homes that were like people had started renovations on, and then the market collapsed in 2007-08. So we ended up buying a house, doing a renovation on it, flipping it, made a little bit of money, enough to get me to the next flip, and then we bought a house, and then we got stuck. And
This is where I became really close friends with Rich right around this time.
Yeah.
And we talk about this crazy shit.
So around 2009, I didn't really have, the house we had just renovated was way overbuilt. We couldn't sell it for the price we wanted. We couldn't sell it for less because we were way over. We spent so much money renovating this house.
The whole market tanked.
The market
whole
had
world
already
is-
tanked. I was trying to FSBO it. I couldn't fucking, we didn't want to hire a listing agent because we couldn't afford the commission because we had so little margin on what we were trying to do. So we rented the house, which did cover what we had into it. We refinanced it and rented it. I just started making pizzas in the house, and I was like, maybe I'll open a pizzeria. Like I worked at a pizzeria when I was 19 years old, and then I decide
I like pizza.
I like pizza.
making pizza.
Yeah, fuck
I
it.
do remember dough is profitable. Fuck it, let's make a pizzeria. So that's how I ended up opening a pizzeria. And that was 2010, and since then I've been pretty removed from the Volkswagen Audi like tuning scene, show scene. Like after the Mark II was gone, I didn't go to any of the shows. I've never been to a show in Helen. I did go to H2O a couple years with some friends. But the second year Johnny Rad's was open, I said, I'm going to treat myself. And this is when the Porsche market was still mild. And I had always wanted a 911. I bought my first Porsche. I bought a 1996 993 Carrera 4. I found this car. This is
the blue one?
Yeah. I found this car on it was like autotrader.com or something like that. It was at a side of the road car lot in upstate New York, like outside of Raleigh or something like that. This car was listed for $29,500, and I was like, it had 103,000 miles on it. I called him and I was like, hey, how's the car? How's the paint? Is there any rust? Oh, it's fine. Everything's great. I drive up there, or I flew and took a cab, I think.
Oh man.
And I get there and I'm like, this thing's way rougher than I thought. Is there any room on the price? And they were like, the only reason that you're standing in front of me is because you gave us a $200 deposit. As soon as you walk out the door, I have 3 other people that said they're going to come pick it up sight unseen.
Yeah.
So no, there's no room on it. Do you want it or not? And all respect due, I understand. So I bought the car, $29,500. I had to finance it. I got thank God, Lightstream, fucking boom, savior.
What's the
That's it.
is it like what's the other?
Oh, yeah.
The other classic car financial, Westlake. No, I forgot.
Is it Westlake? I don't know. I know of Lightstream for
yeah,
sure.
okay. You guys
Dude,
discussed it.
Lightstream is the fight, dude. I
making
finance like
jokes.
6 cars through Lightstream. It's
Nice.
so good.
They love you.
And I have good credit. I make payments. I was making money, so I bought that car, and then I took that car after I lowered it and like drove it to H2O. That was the first time I'd been back to H2O since I don't know 2008. So
we were already established in the 7-Eleven parking lot. I remember Rich rolling up in the blue 993.
That's not it, but there was one before that. That's the Adventuring Green. That's the last car I had, which I totaled.
That's green. I'm not colorblind, and I still couldn't tell.
It's gray. It's called Aventurine, but it's
Of
it's
course,
like a
it had
gray.
supple leather, Brett Sloan.
This actually, I think,
That's a green one.
You
but
can
yeah,
almost see
illustrates the
the
color a bit better.
it's like a
there.
gray green, yeah. So that's
Was
a
it
95.
supercharged at this time?
My blue one, I supercharged it.
Yeah, but when you first came H2O?
No,
Okay,
no.
okay.
Second year maybe.
That
Yeah,
might
that's
be,
it.
that
That's
might
the
be
one.
blue.
That's
the
it.
one.
It's Iris Blue. That car had 108,000 miles on it at that point. RS chin spoil, splitters, Turbo S scoops with the LED lights on the Tech Art wheels. Those are 8.5s and 11s on a narrow body. When I got that car, it had rust around the rear window cowl, like around the rear window, and so I took it to a body shop and had them respray from the cowl forward, just cosmetic, and then repair the rust and paint the rear around. And then I put a ducktail on it. I left all the patina that was on the rear arches because I didn't really care about I didn't want to repaint the car. Just it looked bad. The front was like a Star Wars scene. It was bad. But that car had sport seats in it. So that car in the background belongs to Ed Fickert. He's a close friend of mine. We opened up a business in Colorado a few years back. It did not fare during COVID, but anyway. So I do most of my own work on cars. This is when we pulled the engine out of the car. This is the second time I had the engine out. Basically, this is when I wanted to do the lightweight flywheel and clutch and everything. This is post supercharger. There you go. Boom. That's Ed's 964 on the right. Good story about that car. He bought that car in 2011 or 12, I think, at the time. And he found an ad that was a listing that, like, you look at a car and you're like, there's one picture and it's down a shitty road and you're like, I'm not going to bother reaching out to him.
That was that thing in the other room.
So he sees this white 964. It's a Carrera 2. It's got like 50,000 miles on it. And it's priced at like $17,500. Mind you, this is pre-boom,
Yeah.
So he reaches out to the guy and he's like, all right, I kind of want to come see it. So he goes out to see it and it's epic, great house. It's garage kept. And Ed was like, you had a picture online that was like in front of some trees, like down a dirt road. He's like, oh yeah, I was just visiting a friend's property. Like I just thought it looked pretty in front of the trees. So he bought that car for, essentially what you can buy a GTI for. And we did a bunch of mods to that car. Those are 1552 forged wheels. That was when I had the engine out. He had his engine out at the same time. He rebuilt his engine in the garage with some friends. We had, he didn't have some of the gauges and stuff to do the cam timing or whatever. But, that was it. That was the garage in Hamden.
Is that Ed Hates Fun?
Yeah.
Dude, the next time, if you ever get to meet Chuck, but the next time you see Chuck, ask him about the time he get to hang out with Ed.
Oh, boy.
We went to Luftical many years ago.
Okay.
Ed was there.
Ed was at Luft?
Yeah. And
I didn't know Ed ever went to Luft.
And we were... it was definitely at Luft, yeah. And
he may have.
We were at this burrito place that a friend of ours brought us to, and Ed and his crew kind of ended up there all together. and Ed and Chuck are talking to each other, but they're screaming at each other.
Sounds right.
And I mean screaming. And then we get in the car, and Chuck's like, that Ed guy, he's a great guy. And I'm like, you guys are just screaming in each other's faces. And but just excited, not like angrily
Ed
or anything
gets
like that.
Really excited. Yeah.
And,
about things. He's
so
hyped
does Chuck, and it's just louder and louder and louder. And he's like, what a great guy. And like we're howling laughing in the car because it's just
that's
like
hilarious.
So again, small world. Ed Ficker also grew up in the 80s skateboarding, early hip hop, got into Volkswagens and Audis, BMWs. He owned a skateboard shop in Baltimore prior to my skateboard shop in Southern Maryland. He's had tons of cars. He had Bucky Lassik's Corrado. He had Montana Mark II. He and I did the first S50 B32 swap in a first gen M Coupe. And he drove that for a little while, ended up selling that car. And I can't remember. I think it was to buy the 911. And he ended up moving to Colorado. What are these fuckers saying in here? Yeah, I do. Yeah, so that 964 got sold to somebody who was going to RWB it, and then it got rear-ended. So then I think somebody LS swapped it.
Yeah, baby.
Was that the story? I can't remember. All I know is
it's hard to keep up with everything, right?
Yeah, but Ed was in a position where he was like kind of over having a nice car, but he was old enough to be like, I need a better life than living in Baltimore. So he moved to Colorado. He sold that car for like $55,000.
Jeez.
Which was
That's
a
come up.
deal today. But to him,
deal.
But for him, you can't pass that up. He's like, no, it afforded me the ability to change my life. I'm much happier. I'm much better now. So, I missed that car too. I definitely, what did I say? That's what happened. It was LS swapped after the LAPD rear-ended it. Yeah.
That's brutal.
So, I missed that car. Ed and I used to go to Cars and Coffee lot, rip around the back roads. We'd go to Cars and Coffee in the morning, and then we'd head up to this little burrito spot. Then we'd drive around for a half hour or so in the back roads, and then we'd just head home and fucking chill. It was awesome. What's Sam talking about? Yeah.
Jetta 2NR. No, that was Martin's car that had the OMP bucket seats. I had Trophy Recaros reupholstered by MJ Interiors with leather and Alcantara.
Oh, so Greg Kezar, he said that was the year we met at that H2O. He has this rad little Volvo 142. I think it's automatic, but it looks fast. So I think the goal is for him is he's probably going to put that thing back on the road soon. Be on the lookout for a rad little.
What is a Volvo 142?
Just click on his thing and go to Instagram. It's I think it's Kezar. Where my keys are? I can't remember. It's just type Keysar.
You put in his name, Greg Kezar.
Yeah, there you go. Up. It's so sick. It's the fucking hardest car.
So after the turbos, lots of life stuff, lots of business stuff. The 993, I meant.
So the blue car, I ended up. I bought when I bought the second the restaurant, the second building. We bought the building and had a residential apartment upstairs that needed to be renovated. But the budget for the restaurant went so far over budget that I didn't have a dime to fucking finish the apartment upstairs. So it sat vacant for about a year after we were open, maybe longer. And I was like, all right, I know the option. It's right in front of me. I just have to, put aside the Porsche life and fucking think further ahead. So I sold the 993, put that money into the renovation of the apartment upstairs. So now I have residual income coming in. So I was like, yeah, I can be able to buy whatever the hell I want now.
Yeah.
And then the Porsche market went fucking berserk. And I can't afford anything.
No.
I can't justify spending $100,000 for a 993. It's not $100,000 experience to me.
It's still just metals.
It is.
Leather.
It is a wonderful car. It was, if I ever get in a position to buy it, I will buy another 993. But I just can't make it. I can't justify it right now. The amount of fun that I have with the cars that I have now, I guess we can get to those now.
Segue.
Yeah. Let's segue out of the 993 I sold. Then I had Porsche, I was missing a Porsche. So I always wanted a 914. My mom bought a 914 when I was about 11 years old. I remember it dearly.
Off the neighbor guy?
It was he helped her buy it.
Your mom had cool cars.
She did. She could never afford a 911, but she always could afford something that Dave would help her find. So he helped her find a 914. It it was in Northern Virginia when we still lived in Maryland. And then when we moved to Virginia, I was 13 years old. We moved from Southern Maryland to Northern Virginia. My mom got remarried to my fuckhead stepdad. And
Let him know.
yeah, fuck that dude. Ken Stanley, I hope you are dead.
Woof.
He's a piece of shit.
Hey, man,
Hey.
this is your time. You tell him
Yeah.
whatever you want.
I don't think I've ever heard from him, which I'm very happy about. Anyway,
And you're a celebrity now on TV. That motherfucker. He doesn't even know. Fuck that guy.
yeah, fuck that guy. So anyway, she had a 914. I always wanted a 914, so I had a buddy who had one, and he just said, "Hey, I'm thinking about selling a 914." So I ended up buying the 914, and then things were doing pretty well for the restaurant. And I ended up, that one doesn't have the front bumper rubber on it. It looks stupid, but yeah, that's the 914.
Get the picture off of there.
God, don't show that one.
Don't show that picture. It's half
I'm just
naked.
kidding. No, you can put whatever you want. But there's a couple other ones.
Meanwhile, it's a podcast. Fucking everybody.
Nobody can see these photos.
This is Rich's IG. Go on there. Lots of car pics.
I wouldn't have posted it on my personal public IG if I didn't want people to see it.
Yeah.
So I didn't. I was just kidding. So I had a little bit of money and I found another.
Oh, that one back.
I found another high mile 997 that I wanted to buy. I found a launch edition, 05 launch edition, sports seats. Yeah, there you go. That's a good one. That's when it was still a 4-cylinder, that 914 there.
I like your current glasses much more than those, Rich.
I did too. Everybody does too. My wife does. I think those old glasses look stupid.
I didn't
think
say that. I'm just going to say I like your current glasses.
those
more.
look bad. I don't like them. Yeah, I agree with you. So yeah, that's a 73.
Those look like angry glasses. Sorry, I'm just.
Nerd-
Sorry,
those,
go
are,
ahead.
those are my IT glasses.
Okay.
That's a 73 2-liter, and I always wanted a 6 in a 914. So I ended up finding a 6 real cheap from a dude on Marketplace, and I did about 90% of the work, and I didn't weld, and there was a problem with where the motor mounts were sitting. So I ended up, after COVID, I didn't have any time to work on it, so I ended up sending it down to Lufttechnik in Richmond, and Robert and his dad.
Hi, Robert.
Yeah, hi, Robert. They finished up the work on that car, got it back on the road, running and driving now. I haven't had a whole lot of time to drive it, but I did drive it up to Junk Food Meat. Shout out Nick Becker. Epic event. I'm planning on coming back this year. I just saw he dropped the dates on that, so that's going to be fun.
Rich was part of the hot dog eating contest viewing with me.
I think this year you and I should enter.
Dude, but you're buying me a hotel room and we're staying until Monday because I'm not going to be shitting my pants the whole way home. I got fucking 6-hour ride home with Nick Paws R.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe we won't.
I don't know, dude.
So-
I'm just. We talked about it on the podcast before, and it was just an amazing time. And everybody needs to go to the Junk Food Meet in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, this October. I'm sure we'll talk about it more before it comes. I'm just putting it out there. Sorry.
Did
go
you
ahead.
find the 142?
I did 242, right?
142.
142.
The
no.
242 is the second,
Just
the other
Google
car.
it.
Dude, the 142. It's on this thing. It's a little fucking blue car. It looks kind of like a Mark I Jetta.
No, that's definitely
That's
not.
definitely not it.
That's definitely not it.
I don't mean to do it any.
There it
No,
is,
no,
right
that's
there, right
okay.
there.
Yeah, no, I got you.
It doesn't look like a Jetta, but it's more of a.
No, I get what you're saying though.
That's it. That is the fucking hardest 142 on the planet.
And that thing's an
It's
auto
the
tragic.
turd, but he's gonna probably build a sick little motor for it and get it on the road
Dude,
and have fun.
that
with
looks like it needs to have a Volvo 5-cylinder swap.
Dude,
to it.
it's
That's what I said. 07K the world too.
photo taken with speed hunters.
Sick.
Nice.
No speed hunting.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
at
I love that
Solo,
car.
too.
I like this comment. I need a cigarette. That's good. That's a really cool car.
That's a great car. So back to real quick, I'll wrap up with the cars because there's been other cars in between, but I bought the 997.
I could tell you got quite the library of cars here.
I have a list on my phone. It's really fun. I think I'm on like 44.
Oh Jesus!
Some of them are trash, but most of them are cool, kind of cool. I bought the 997. I wanted a 993 real bad because I drove up to Hershey to the Porsche swap meet, and there was a guy selling the Aventurine car at 187,000 miles on it, rebuilt engine, repainted. I didn't give a fuck. I just wanted another 993. I didn't care about it being original or anything like that. Give me a ship box. I just want to drive it. And he was a dealer license guy, so he's like, "I'll take your 997, but I can't give you a ton." I was like, "I didn't pay a ton. What will you give me?"
Yeah.
He's like, "I can give you 20 for it." I was like, "I paid 25. Sounds good."
Yeah.
So he gave me 20 for it. And I bought that car for like 30 or 31. It was barely over $30,000.
How is any 993 30 grand?
Right?
So you didn't have to tow it home.
That's the one
Yeah.
you saw with the Speedline Alicios on it. That's the one that I was driving to Cars and Coffee one morning on a cool January dewy morning and just avoided a really bad collision either with a car or a concrete barrier, overcorrected, and then ended up hitting the barrier anyway. So single car incident, nobody else was injured. I was shaken up, but like I think it knocked shingles out of me. Like I had shingles for like 2 weeks after that.
Jesus.
Yeah, severe.
That's crazy. I don't remember that part of the story.
Stress.
Yeah, I think
stress
severe,
initiates.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it definitely stress.
It fucked me up. I had shingles after that. So,
oh man.
Oh yeah, is
Hey,
the first
kids,
142 on air. There
Don't
you go.
wreck your car. You might get shingles for
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Good thing is I had it insured for more than I paid for it.
Yeah, buddy.
And at the time, I was trying to open up this car detailing business in Colorado with Ed. It was Concorso Auto Detail, and I said, okay, I'll just take that money and I'll put it towards the business because we wanted to do dry ice blasting. So we bought a dry ice machine. This was 2020. And then
Just before.
Yeah, it was January 2020 when I wrecked the 993. So I got paid out. Haggerty, shout out. I told them exactly what happened. There's nobody else involved. They pretty much stroked a check and said, be on your way. And I used that money. We bought a dry ice machine, a few other things. We also spent a little bit more money to get like workstations and work chairs, and like we bought a washer and dryer so we could wash our own towels and stuff. And we opened up essentially March 1st, and by March 15th we were shut down for COVID. Like it was like you're non-essential, even though you're in an automotive complex. Everybody else has to fix cars. You just clean them. You're not essential.
Yeah, no one needs clean cars.
Rich was loving Colorado. It's not the heat; it's the humidity.
Correct.
We could
The
have a
dew
whole
point
other
in Colorado.
I was going to say we could have a whole podcast on Rich and dew points.
I guarantee there's bets on if I've talked about the dew point on this podcast. People have money betting on that.
Yeah, Rich loves to talk about the dew point.
Yeah,
Let me
fuck
tell
the
you
dew
about the
point.
dew point.
Yeah. So we did the business in Colorado. It struggled for the first year, obviously, because we couldn't fucking open. We tried to like structure a way to do work on cars that was like not interactive. We said, hey, drop off the car. We'll bring it in.
Key box, the whole nine. Yeah,
We did it. But, at the end of the day, you can only do so many cars like that,
Mm-hmm.
And so the next winter in Colorado is not mild. I mean, it sucks for fucking 6 months almost. So by the time we could get back into doing work, I was like, all right, I have spent my entire life savings in this business. I have been paying the rent, the gas, electric, phone, internet, any business income that came in, we had to pay to the kids that we had working there, Dom and Will and Ed, obviously, but we just couldn't like pick back up. I needed to be part of the business, and I had very much more responsibilities back in Baltimore. I had to, try to keep 2 restaurants running. By 2022, I had started to, work on a 3rd restaurant because at least I knew how to do that. I could run a restaurant in person, but
which is crazy because running restaurants is like a hard thing.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah,
it sucks.
But you're finding success there.
I somehow figure out how to do it. Just because I'm good at it doesn't mean I like it.
Same thing. I became good at my business industry. I fucking hate it. Just because you're good at it doesn't mean you like it.
Yeah. So
Me and Rich have this talk all the time.
So we had to kill the business in Colorado. That was the biggest monetary loss I'd ever taken. I think I lost on paper that year $127,000.
Oh my God.
my life savings.
Rich tells me the story and I go, stop, don't stop. I'm getting angry. Stop telling me the story. Don't tell me anymore.
Very much a dagger, but like, you don't you can't just give up,
Yeah, of course.
Dude, I almost get shingles just thinking about it.
Well, a good thing was it was any dollar I was making from my income here was paying the bills there because I was hoping that we would get through the hump and just it would blossom and turn into what we had all expected it to be. But I couldn't be there. And so you start to realize that, not everyone is cut out to run a business. Like Ed is a very talented detailer. He's great at what he does, but Ed also needed someone to actually operate a business. And I was that person. I needed to be there and I couldn't. I had 2 other fucking responsibilities. I had to stay here and I had to pick. I said, look, October, if we're not solvent, we got to close. And that's what we did. So luckily the 3rd business that I opened here, the 3rd restaurant, has done exceptionally well. I have recovered the money that I've lost. I don't have $127,000 in the bank right now, but I've recovered a portion of it. And I feel better about moving forward. And considering Bitcoin's going to the moon, I'm good.
Yeah, and that's the Royal Blue Bar.
Yeah, that's the Royal Blue. Yep.
Dude, go down to the dance floor when on
there might be a couple
Friday,
pictures
Saturday
today.
night. It's freaking wild.
We are primarily a restaurant, but we do a ton of bar business. We have a disco pit in the back room. It's
Yeah,
basically
the
a
disco
dance
pit is
club.
pretty sick.
A disco pit.
When it's freaking bang. Listen,
there might
so
be
the
some
bar,
pictures in there.
the
Keep
bar
going.
used to be a world famous or a Baltimore famous gay.
Yeah,
hangout
very
bar.
very famous on the East Coast, at least, if not the country of gay bars. It was like in the gay yellow pages and everything. It was very much endeared.
It was a spot. Yeah.
Yeah, and we took it over. A lot of people have said, is it still? There's a disco pit there. Yeah. So a lot of people have said, is it still a gay bar?
Yeah.
And I have to say, myself and Randy and Jimmy are not gay, so we can't appropriate it as a gay
Yeah.
bar. But we obviously want everyone to come back.
Well, come
Everyone's
on.
welcome. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like, please. And I think so far it's shown that we have been able to retain
Yeah.
a vast majority of the customers that used to come in. And everyone else, the young people, it's a very inclusive place. So at the end of the day, it's just killing it. So I'm very happy. I have great partners there, business-wise. Randy Coffrin's my business partner, my best friend, and Jimmy Coffrin. Jimmy Coffrin. Jimmy Crawford. He was an employee at one of the other restaurants. He'd worked at a bunch of other bars in Baltimore, and he was living down in Florida, and he was looking for a reason to come back to Baltimore. Randy and I were looking for a guy to operate a business, and we were like, hey, we'll give you a sweetheart deal on a percentage of the bar. You have to put in some cash, but we ultimately need an operating manager. So like, if you're willing to do that, we'll give you a percentage of the business and pay you a manager's salary. And he's been doing great. The business has been doing great.
That's sick.
We're making money. So yeah.
There's some pictures of the dance floor, like
Oh, it's probably on the
holy,
stories.
yeah,
I don't think we
just
have any of those. Oh yeah, that one right there. Go
mob
back.
scene.
Go. Yeah, that. Yeah, hit that.
Let me see.
I think it's a video. Yeah, this. Oh, that's real mild. That's like
That's
before
nothing.
anything.
Imagine
happens.
it just.
That's like a
you
Tuesday
can't move.
afternoon.
You can't even move.
A Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
It's my boy Freddie. Are they there?
No,
Michael
they
and
could have
Freddie?
been. Though. They might as well.
Oh man, I wish.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
it's so far so good with that place. Everybody seems to enjoy it. We do great food. Shout out to Megan. She probably is never going to hear this podcast, but she's crushing it right now. With
And shouts to Megan.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's the third
Yeah,
part.
food looks
so,
unbelievable.
yeah, it works. Come hang out and have some grub. And you don't drink. I don't really drink anymore. And Scott
I
doesn't
don't
drink, so,
know.
Save all my calories for the food.
Yeah, we got plenty of food.
Yeah.
Plenty of food. We got some NA stuff if you like NA beer.
I've actually never eaten at Royal Blue, even though I've been there multiple times because Rich makes me, special pizza at Rad's, and it's the best ever, bro. Get to see how it's made back there.
Yeah, Greg says the dew point's not the dew point's the pew point.
The pew
It's the
point.
Pew Point.
Some
yeah,
party.
So just Rich is currently rocking.
Oh, so my new project. So there's another car in the mix there. I bought Billy Bishop's Mark 3.5 Cabrio.
Mm-hmm.
That it was kind of a neglected car. It wasn't running for a long time. He got it running and was like, I'm not going to do anything with this car. Do you want to buy it? And I bought it real cheap from him. And then that slippery slope turned into, that car.
That's the camera car.
Yeah, that's the camera car.
That's the camera car for.
That car went to Danny, got
More the
painted.
more.
Yeah.
That car has a completely rebuilt 2.9 VR from Bill Schimmel. It's very clean. It's on 993 Targa wheels, 7s and 9s.
Mm-hmm.
It's got A8s in it from Danny Santamase's old 964.
Those AP racing brakes.
They are. Those are
From
Franz's
Franz
old brakes on
designed.
his Mark II. He put a bigger set of APs on his new
Yeah.
car. So those are APs on. Those are going to go on my new Mark II project, and I think I'm going to put Porsche like 986, 996 brakes on that car. But yeah, I love that car. It's a great car. But I miss a Mark II. So I bought a gold Mark II on Bring a Trailer, and now
Quarterly
it's-
returns. Whoops. Scott, I bought a Mark II. I bought this Mark II from Bring a Trailer. Oh,
Yeah.
snap.
So it was on these goofy roller skate.
Dude,
RSs.
I wanted to ask you about what's going on with
the
the
guy
wheels.
who built them, I don't think knew exactly the spec to build them. I
They
don't know.
19s?
They're 8. They're 17 by 7s in the front, 7.5s in the rear.
With the worst offset you could
They're the
ever
wrong.
imagine.
You see the wrong offset. They're on 205s in the front, 215s in the rear.
Yeah.
It's the wrong, just totally wrong.
Look how jacked it is in the
But
back.
the car is a single owner Canadian spec, poverty
Westie Golf.
spec Westie. is but all tweed, and I've posted it publicly. I basically said I really kind of want to build I want to lean into the low spec car. It's so fucking tidy and clean and original.
Yeah.
It's hard to want to fuck it up. I don't want to tear it apart and build a whole car. So I sent the seats up to Nick K. I'm going to butcher his name, so we'll just say
Kramarczyk.
Kramarczyk, yeah.
Okay. So he
Shout
did.
out,
He
my
did
golf
those.
is low.
You can watch that video.
Rachel
It's sick.
too.
He did the front seats, and he harvested tweed from a car that he found in New Hampshire, Maine, or something.
No, he just randomly calls you one day and he's like, "Hey, would you give me a couple bucks to drive fucking 2 states away to get this interior?"
Yeah.
And Rich is like, "Of course, okay, bye." And then 4 hours later, he's sending Rich all the pictures of the seats and materials he got.
It's again, you be playing a Porsche word for a while, and you
Yeah.
realize the prices are insane, and then you go back to Mark II, and you're like, yeah.
Of course
by
I'll
the
do
way,
that.
this not cheap to do what that is.
No,
but
God, no.
What I paid for that is you can't buy a set of 993 sports seats for that. You know what I mean? So
Nick did the wheel too. In
Nick
the
did the
leather.
wheel. It used to be black. That's a 930S wheel. He did it in brown leather. It is fucking perfect.
The back seat was done to match
Yeah.
the design pattern of the front seats.
Yeah, the back seat was originally a non-split bench, but because we needed tweed to harvest, and he got a tweed bench that matched, we kept the tweed bench, used the fabric from the non-split bench for the seats, and then we did brown leather instead of the tan vinyl on the seats. So yeah, that's it. And then those are Scott's old Deeps. Those are my Etoiles.
H&R Deeps.
That's what's going on in the car. I bought them from some guys that didn't really represent how bent they were.
Oh.
So they're at a repair shop right now in Gaithersburg.
Rich is my boy, but when he called me and he was like, "Oh, dude, the wheels I got were bent," I was like, "I told you those wheels suck."
Those are on his old RCs that came off of Scott's car. So it's just those are on the rollers right now on the stock, on the coilers and shocks and struts. Those are not his suspension on there yet. But that's my garage. I have a little garage where my mom lives. I lived in that house for 2 years, and my mom retired, and she needed to be in a smaller, one-level house. So I said, "Why don't you come up and stay in the house? I get to keep the garage."
Yeah.
And then my wife, Risa, and I bought a house in northern Baltimore City and renovated, and now we live there. So we're about 20 minutes away.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. So
Little John over to work on the car.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
He has all
not
of his
bad.
cars there. Yeah.
Yeah, the 914, the Cabrio, the Mark II, and I also have a Z4M Coupe, Interlagos blue, first year. Fucking that car is so fun to drive. So
S54, the whole. Oh yeah.
S54, manual steering, not a hydraulic steering, electric, it has the hydraulic steering. It has the M3 CSL steering, CSL brakes. It has the proper stuff on it. It's a great car. So every once in a while, I look at the Mark II or the Cabrio, the BMW, the 914, and I'm like, do I need all these fucking cars? Maybe I'll sell all three of those and get another 911.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And then I'm like, no, I like having the gamut of an old little hot rod car, because the 914 now has a fully functioning 3-liter SC. It's on Rassant standalone management. It's on throttle bodies. It's a fucking great car. It's a fun car to drive. I mean, it's rough. It's on R888Rs and it sucks.
I don't think it's rough at all. I don't know what he's talking about, but
Did you ride in it?
no.
Well, then fuck off.
I'm saying it's not rough.
I'm talking about the ride with those tires is rough.
Oh, sorry.
It's a 10-footer. It's a car that had rust. It was repaired rudimentary. Is not
Rudimentary.
It was basically
Good
doesn't have
word.
rust
It wasn't-
anymore.
It's a good word for the kids.
And then they did a quick spray on the outside, so it's shiny. But if you walk up on it, you can see where it had been repainted in the corner, and it doesn't really match. But it's fine. Who cares? I don't care. It's fucking fun to drive. It's a 914,
That's all that matters.
and it rips. And
Fun to
people talk
drive.
so much shit on the 914, and I'm the biggest
I love them.
proponent.
I think they're so
They're
cool.
awesome. They're so good. It's a proper mid-engine, 2-seater, rear-wheel drive sports car. It has a full 911 front suspension on it. Have Carrera uprights, torsion bars, and all. It's a proper car. It's so good, and so many people talk shit. And I go, "Have you ever driven one?" They're like, "No." They go, "Shut the fuck up."
I'm not talking shit about it, but it's just not my deal. That's all. That's fine. It's not my deal.
I get the looks are pretty polarizing. It's a big
very
yes, a big yes or big
polarizing
no.
car. It
Yeah.
is. It's a funky looking
Yeah,
car.
it just think about the years when that came out. Like, what a I don't want to say, what a different car to come out in the market back then. It's so wild, but whatever.
So that's pretty much what I'm doing these days. Fucking with a Mark II. I drive the M Coupe every once in a while. The Cabrio is still having a weird problem with the fuel issue. I don't know if it's an ECU issue or a fuel pump issue, but it's still when it's hot out, it like drops out and it has a hard time restarting. It's not crank position sensor, not cam position sensor. Every sensor in the whole car has been replaced. The entire wiring harness has been replaced. The engine was fucking rebuilt.
Yeah.
Everything is good and new on that car, and it still has a weird problem when it's hot. It did, when we went to Roots last year, I drove around the whole time there and drove home, didn't have a single problem. But it was cool. It wasn't hot. As soon as the temperature got hot, I started having issues. So,
Have you ever done the fuel pump?
I think Billy said he did, but I think it's still an old 2-liter fuel pump, which
Sometimes they're the same.
a
2-liter V6, but I would throw a fuel pump in it.
I think he said he may have. I don't know if he did. So that's, again, I think it's a fuel pump issue or an ECU issue, so I'm going to probably throw a fuel pump.
Final question. What's better, 993 or M Coupe?
993.
Okay.
But I'm biased. I have both. The M Coupe, mind you, mine's a Z4 M Coupe, and it's fucking awesome. 321 horsepower. It revs to fucking 8,000 RPMs. It does 140 mile an hour in fourth. Ask me how I know.
You were in Mexico? Wow.
Driving home from Ohio was awesome. It was fucking awesome. It's such a good car. And it's basically stock. It has a aftermarket exhaust, has a super sprint exhaust on it and like an intake.
It's a very pretty car. I love the blue.
It's a great car. The headliner was sagging, so me and my buddy did a suede headliner and A and B pillars. It's a great car. I love it. Greg Kezar is probably one of the most spirited drivers I know. He's very talented. He's a good driver. But
every time I see him drive one of Brett's car,
they all rip on him because he's broken a couple things. But he's basically the tester.
He's ripping skids every time.
If it doesn't break when Greg drives it, it's not going to break.
It's good to go.
So Greg's essentially helping them. So I let Greg drive it, and even Greg was like, "Yeah, this car's fucking."
When I put the
good
Polo
to
back
drive."
together, he's going to come down and drive that.
He's
break
got
that,
a-
and then
He's got a beautiful E36 M3 Japanese tech. It's wonderful car.
Report back to Ed Sheets about the Polo to tell Ed to buy Corey's Polo.
Oh, dude, Ed's on a buying spree right now.
Well, Corey
Ed
needs to
Sheets-
get on that.
yeah.
Ed Sheets can't stop buying cool cars, and he's getting all the good ones. He bought Ed Fickert's 318 S50, was it S52 swap? Whatever it was. Yeah, he bought that car. He keeps buying cool cars. What are they talking about? Yeah, exactly. I support Greg. He's there's a lot of fun memes going around about how crazy Greg is as a driver.
Hey, I owned a 996 GT3 for a very short time, and Chuck's like, "Hey, can I give it a test drive in this parking lot here, dude?" He was fucking sideways before he got to the fucking end of the freaking parking lot in my GT3, and I was like, "Oh my god, thank you, Chuck."
Then
You need to know. You need to know if you wanted it.
Correct.
Yeah, then you've met Greg.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah,
So
It's good. It's all in good fun, right?
Yep.
correct. It's all about enjoying cars. If you don't fucking enjoy them, you just stare at them. I just don't. I can't deal with it anymore.
Rich, you've been an incredible guest.
Thanks.
I appreciate you coming down up
Yeah.
so much. Thanks for having some pizza with us. Thanks for
He's a
hanging
big
out.
fan. Thank you for all the
I watch all the
Revival
episodes. You guys are
Motoring
awesome.
support.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
If you're ever in the area, even if you're just at Scott's, let us know. Doors open until you come in.
Sounds good.
Hang out. It'd be great. I'd love to make it down to Baltimore and eat it.
I was gonna say. I hope
I
to
just
see you
run
in
the gamut,
Baltimore.
all three.
Please come down. You literally take the train. It's a block.
Sell
away
some
from where
paper
I'll be.
down there or something. Let's go.
Baltimore's tough.
Baltimore's like, fuck you. We ain't buying you a paper.
It's just a different area. You know, it's outside of our reach right
I'm
now.
just saying, I enjoy the food tour of New Haven. I enjoy the Rich Pugh food tour of Baltimore.
Yeah, man. Come down anytime.
How long's the train ride?
It's 4 hours, 4.5 hours, I think.
That's
Oh,
nothing.
from here, it's probably 5.5 hours, I think.
Yeah. Out of
I
Providence.
forgot. I did it out of New Haven. It was like 4 hours and 15 minutes. So, yeah, about 5:15, 5:30, something like that. But, get it booked ahead of time. You get a good
Book a
seat.
flight.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
you
Oh,
go.
dude,
See,
I'm-
there we go. Now we're talking.
Yeah,
Scott's going to come with me. We're going to book a flight.
But Scott won't fly, but
You better hold my hand the whole time, Corey.
I'll
hold
hold
your
it.
hand.
I'll hold it. Don't worry about it. I'll hold it. It'll be okay.
all right.
Thank you for joining us, Scott. Thank you for stepping in.
Love it.
I
love
appreciate
this
it.
stuff.
Yeah, we'll be back next week. Full Voltron. Chuck will be back. He'll know winter's over. Josh will be back. He'll have his time in Florida.
Bangin' tan.
Shook will be here. It'll be the whole crew, and yeah, I don't even know. I think Josh has got some stuff stored for guests. We'll see if they pan out.
Hi, Kev.
Goodbye to
So-
everybody in the super chat. Thanks
See
for
y'all.
participating.
Au revoir.
Kevin,
Arrivederci.
all the homies.
Boing, 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 boing.
Yeah, Rich, sing it.
Here we go.